off.
All right, guys, let's go. I'm going to start this broadcast. Okay, fans, welcome to Marana High School, along with McVeigh Butler III, Jacob Greenberg. I'm Jason Miller. It's the opener for the Cienega Bobcats on the road at a packed house here at Marana. The sun is just set to the west, and the Tigers are going to kick off going from right to left. Boys, what are we expecting here tonight?
Well, I'm expecting a complete blowout by at least 14 points by Cienega, but I wouldn't be surprised. We need to make sure our defensive ends cover because this is a passing team, not a running team.
Cienega has a lot of hype coming into this first game. Marana took a loss in their first game, and it just seems like Cienega was a lot more hype than Marana coming into this game.
And the funny thing is that Marana is so assured of the win that they have a car outside that is painted with Cienega loses, and they are literally hitting it with a hammer.
A sledgehammer. I think people are paying to get shots in, so they spray painted the car and it said defeat the Bobcats or crush the Bobcats or something like that. It's a flashback. This is before your time, boys, but Fast Times at Ridgemont High, they did that same thing in that film. It's an 80s classic.
I know, I saw that movie.
Oh, you did see that
Yes,
movie?
I did.
Oh, interesting.
$3 for one hit, $5 for 2 hits.
Nice. A good deal. Handoff goes to Thomas Webb Jr. to the right side as Ron Fontana slides behind us here, a former great from the Cienega Bobcats. Cats are in white. They're these classic white jerseys they have with the copper numbers. They've got white pants, the copper helmets, so they're white from head to toe with just little accents or splashes of copper going left to right. It's going to be second down and 8. Jamari Joyner, well, he's Mr. Everything really at quarterback for the Cats, the senior, number 11. Back to throw. Fires to his left on target. There's Trey White's number 17, Jerry White, the senior, on the catch, and a gain of 6.
Yeah, and he didn't see the field time he wanted to see last year. Now coming into his senior, Pat Nugent said he's going to play a big role at wide receiver.
And it's interesting, he's listed at quarterback on Max Preps, which I was surprised by. But it was nice. Jamari Joyner stopped by today in 517 just to say hello. Jamari, are you excited? He said, I'm nervous. Are you nervous every game? Yeah. He'll be fine. Once the game starts, he nodded his head. Very confident, talented player. On the keeper here to the right side, he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Not enough for a first down.
And those kind of plays are going to be played a lot during the third, just because you want to get those extra yards and try and get that first as quick as possible and move up the field.
Well, it's interesting. The Bobcats are at their own 34-yard line. It's 4th and inches, and this is taking a long time here for the play to come in, and it appears as if the Cats were considering going for it. Now it looks as if they'll punt the football, and Jamari might be the punter here. We'll see.
You know, it almost seemed as if on that second down they were trying to get as many yards as possible, even a first possible with passing it to number 17.
Yeah, I asked Pat Nugent who's going to be a punter this year. He said Jamari Joyner. He's a natural athlete. It seems like he can play almost any position.
Yep.
Tigers' Tion Simmons back to receive. Just back to the 15. Great punt. Bobble there. Off the return. You know, he's got some wheels to the near side. And
brought down right over there at the 22.
Dylan Hoos there in coverage. The senior safety, and a guy on special teams. So a nice coverage there. But a booming punt. You saw Jamari there on the punt from about his own 30-yard line. So about a 47-yard punt when it's all said and done. Good coverage there by the Bobcats.
Yeah, that punt returner took too much of a risk there. That's when they're that close, that's when you just want to let it drop.
And it's funny because as a punter, you always want to make sure that you give it enough airtime so that way your players can get back and possibly make a turnover and automatically get the ball back at a good position.
Had some decent hang time on that. Trenton Bourget, the junior at quarterback, hands off the ball to number 20. That's Rene Valenzuela. He is their big runner. Valenzuela last week in their season opener, a loss to Ironwood Ridge, a close loss. 8 carries, 65 yards, averaging 8.1 yards per carry. But make no mistake, this Marana Tiger team loves to throw the football. They've got a wide open formation, 4 wide outs, 2 to each side. Now one goes in motion to the far side. Bourget rolls to his right. Looks to throw. And the ball's intercepted.
Ball's intercepted.
Terrell Hayward on the pick.
Wow, that was an amazing interception.
Well, let me say this. We didn't talk about it in the pregame because we didn't have a pregame. But Jeff Bolnow, the cornerback coach, said, listen, I had the two best cornerbacks in southern Arizona, and I think I had the two best cornerbacks in the state of Arizona. So he's got Terrell Hayward on one side with the interception, Rodney Rogers, a senior, on the other side, who's also very good. Those guys last year, 12 interceptions between the two of them.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and this is why Marana lost last week by 7 points. Trenton Brigade threw 4 interceptions against Ironwood Ridge, and that's not going to cut it against this Cienega Bobcats football squad.
That's a great point, Jacob. Trenton Bourget, 379 yards passing last week, 2 touchdowns, and a touchdown rushing, so 3 touchdowns combined, but 4 interceptions. So there's one early here. A bad sign for the Tigers, a good sign for the Cats. Joyner on the keeper, slashes his way to the left side, gang tackle there by about 5 Tigers. So the Tigers are stout, and the fans here, again, the the stands are packed to the gills on both sides of the field. A beautiful vista here at Marana High School. To the west, the mountains and a salmon-colored sky as the sun has now set. Bobcats, 2nd down and 8 from the 23-yard line of Marana.
Yep.
Handoff goes to the right side. It's Rodney Rogers on the carry. So the Cats will have a lot of players that will go both ways. Terrell Hayward, who made the early interception here for the Cats, is the #1 receiver for the Bobcats on offense. Rodney Rogers, a shutdown corner on the other side, will also fill in at slot or wide receiver. And Terrell Huggins, who is the deep safety on defense for the Cats, will also play wide receiver as well. So we'll see a lot of these players putting some heavy minutes here on the field.
Yeah, last year we didn't see Rodney Rogers on the offensive side of the ball. It was just defensive. He's a great cornerback, but I think he's played a great role in this offense this year.
And speedy, too. He's part of that relay team. Jamari rolls to his left. Looking to the corner here for Rogers. Tipped away. Nice defensive play by the back for the Tigers. I think it was number 10, Anthony Valencia, the senior. Great coverage there by Valencia, drifting back. And a good throw, right? It was right to the corner, so the defensive back made a great play, which he did. Rogers was trying to get there. You talked about this earlier, McVeigh. What a beautiful stadium here. The end zones are painted in that royal blue with the yellow. And Tiger on the left is spelled out in the end zone, and Pride on the right. So Tiger Pride here at Marana High School. Pristine field. Cats here going for the field goal. Ezra Figueroa for the attempt.
Jacob was just telling me that basically they're designed after LSU, and a lot of it has to do with the mascot and, you know, just an amazing stadium. You know, you can tell that they took a lot of time to make it, put a lot of thought into the colors, you know, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful stadium.
I can see that. That's a good observation, Jacob. It's not quite the LSU purple, but it's like a almost purplish kind of blue.
Yeah, they have the same style, kind of going and have the MHS go in across their helmets like Louisiana State kind of has the LSU.
All right, well, the Cats, Ezra Figueroa, who is a soccer player, out of the field here to attempt the field goal. And we're looking at here what would be a 38-yard attempt. Luis Morales, the junior holder, and Ezra Figueroa, number 18, the junior kicker. Oh, there's some movement there.
Movement flag.
So we have offsides here, or encroachment against the defense on special teams. That'll move the ball closer. You wonder if this will figure into the calculus from Pat Nugent, if he would go for it or still kick a field goal. I mean, now we're looking at, instead of a 38-yard attempt, it would be a 33-yard attempt.
And for Ezra, as a soccer player, you know, that's nothing that you want to give to a soccer player. Especially closer you are, the easier it is for him. And that's a definite big mistake for Marana. Could cost him a field goal right now.
5 yards closer. Ezra Figueroa has the neon pink cleats, which I like. Kick is up, and it is good, right down the middle. Ezra Figueroa, 33 yards on the field goal, getting his name in the ledgers of Cienega High School's scoring.
Yeah, very nice. And it's funny, I talked to Ezra today, and seeing him, he seemed a little bit nervous about the game, not looking too good, but it seems like he's whipped himself into shape, and he knows how to be on a football field and definitely make a play.
Well, it's a shame. Last year, the Bobcats had one of the best kickers in the state, maybe the best.
Yes.
Aaron Aros, who
Yes,
was just
very
fantastic on extra points, booming leg strength on kickoffs, a lot of touchbacks for him last season, and then also, range from like 50 yards plus on the field. So I think his long was 47 last year. This year, the incumbent kicker ready to take over was Austin Del Rio, number 32, the senior, and he was injured in the Copper-Navy scrimmage. Actually, it was practice before the Copper-Navy scrimmage. So Austin's season is cut short, a fractured leg, and here we have, taking advantage of the opportunity, Ezra Figueroa. So just want to put that out there and send my well wishes out to Austin Del Rio. Fine young man, a great kid. You can hear him on announcements at Cienega High School on Wednesdays, I think. But thoughts going out to him and his family. And then there's the field goal by Ezra Figueroa. So the Cats up 3-0 now with 8:13 on the clock in the first quarter.
Yeah, Ezra Figueroa didn't even know he was going to play this year, but now he has to take the big role at kicker after the fractured leg from Austin Del Rio.
And that is a big role to fill.
Big role to fill.
Well, there's a lineage of kickers at Cienega High School going back to Jason Cox, who was phenomenal. And there were others, and there was Jeremy Meeker Hackett, or Jacob Meeker Hackett. I get the Hackett twins confused.
And the kick is up.
Down to the 5-yard line. Tion Simmons on the return.
Oh, missed tackle.
Nice little move there. I'm sure in the film sessions, the Bobcats will break that one down. Eli Galvan, number 42, the junior, on the tackle on special teams.
Tion Simmons for the Tigers, brought down by number 42, Eli Galvan for the Bobcats.
So first down and 10 here for the Tigers from their own 28-yard line. I want to thank you, Bobcat fans, for tuning in tonight to our audio broadcast here on Bobcat TV. Next week we'll be home against Shadow Ridge, and that game, of course, will be broadcast and streamed live on Bobcat TV. The whole kit and caboodle, as it was, video and audio. Run goes up the right side here, a short gain of 1. It's 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. Well, last year the Cats played Marana in the opening match of the season. That was at Cienega, and the Cats triumphed 52-20. We know it was a magical season for the Cats, 12-0 at one point before they fell to powerful Centennial from Phoenix in week 13. But they made it all the way to the Final Four. There's Tion Simmons there on the handoff and maybe a loss of a yard. And tackle was made by Zach Mattis. So there's big Zach. Just rippling biceps. He puts a lot of time in the weight room. His dad, Mr. Mattis, is also ripped. So I know they put a lot of time and energy into that conditioning, and Zach's going to be a big factor on the defensive front here for the Cats, also on the offensive line as a starter.
And it's funny that you mentioned about the gym, because I remember Zach Mattis all the way in middle school, always in that gym. It's almost as if he was a gym cat, gym rat, never, ever leaving. And as you can see, it always benefits in the end, especially in football, where it's not about the size, it's about the strength, technique, and that's where he comes out big in the strength. And now, as you can see, throughout the years, he's gotten his own technique to be one of the top linemen.
I think another factor is Steve Schween running that weights and conditioning program along with Pat Nugent, the head coach of the Cienega Bobcats. I think that's a major factor. We're seeing that pay dividends in different sports. Softball, boys and girls soccer, the volleyball team last year, state champions, softball state champions last year. Basketball, you can see the players like really putting an emphasis on their conditioning.
As you can see, that kick was almost hit, and that would have been huge for the Bobcats.
Terrell Hayward on the return.
Stopped at the 39.
So 32 yards net on the punt there for the Tigers. Hayward does everything. So he'll play cornerback as a shutdown corner. The early interception tonight, of course. He's a great wide receiver. He is the slot man, the prime target for Jamari Joyner in offense. And then he also is the returner on kickoffs and punts for the Bobcats. And a very humble athlete for being so talented as he is.
And he's a true athlete. He's very athletic, knows how to make plays, and he's a huge part of the Cienega, program of football.
Well, he went off last year in the winter on the soccer team. He was on the JV soccer team, and I know there was at least one game in which he scored 5 goals. So
that's impressive.
So I was waiting for him to call up to the varsity last year. I thought his skill set translated into that, but it never happened. So maybe if he keeps with it, we'll see him on the pitch again this winter. Devin Garrett, the senior, number 25 on the carry, picks up 2 to the left side.
Number 25.
Second down and 8.
Devin Garrett for the Bobcats, brought down by number 38, Trey Peterson for the Tigers. 2 yards gain on the play. Second down.
Well, you noticed all the jerseys on campus today. The football players were just waiting. I saw Stephen Harshman, the senior inside linebacker, number 21 for the Cats. He also plays tight end on offense. And I just asked him, like, how long are these days? He said they're the longest. He's like, I just want it to be game time. And then I asked him, like, well, what do you do? And he's like, well, I just try to go through my classes and focus on school. I think that's a good approach to have for these guys.
Yep. As a former football player, I can tell you, it's very nerve-wracking waiting for a game, the anticipation, everything that you look up to when you play. It's huge because you can either mess up or you can make a big play, and it's every day of football is a blessing.
No yards gain on the play.
Jamari was looking for Trey White. They have a chemistry to those two. They're two of the best rappers on campus, as they demonstrated in that freestyle exhibition last year in the fall. They were two of many great freestylers that were happening. Incomplete, pass broken up by Anthony Valencia, and now it's third down and 8 for the Cats from their own 40-yard line. Jamari back to throw. All the time in the world. Steps up, throws down the middle, some contact there, but again, it was Valencia in coverage. Incomplete. The intended target was Jerry White.
Yeah, Marana defense, their secondary is doing a great job at keeping Jamari Joyner from getting a open receiver, because he just seems like he can't find anybody wide open.
And it's funny because you can see that the safety is trying to take away all the clear passes that might be there. And for Jamari, being such an amazing quarterback, that's something that they need to focus on, because, if you take away the throw game, it does hurt Cienega very, very, very bad.
Well, here's Jamari now on the punt. He's got copper cleats. I think they're the Cam Newtons. This is a high one, so plenty of hang time. We'll see what kind of bounce he gets. A great bounce.
And that is huge.
And it rolls all the way down to the 11-yard line.
And that is what Cienega wants, to have them start far back into their own end zone.
First down, Tigers.
So a 50-yard punt exactly here for Jamari. He got the great bounce. So the ball bounced at around the 33-yard line, and it rolled about 15 yards. So I'm sure that's something. Look, Brett Hawley, the special teams coach for the Cats, is one of the best. And he punted in the NFL, I believe, for the Dolphins. And his sons, I think Luke Hawley was a great punter with great hang time. Matt Aragon, who's at the U of A as a punter. So again, we talk about special teams. We see it in the kicking game, both by the place kickers and the punters here. And then Jamari, just a natural athlete, he's going to be punting this year. And that's a different weapon that you have to prepare for as a defense, because if it's fourth and short, he has the option of rolling and running for a first down.
That's a good point, but, for any athlete that is as skilled as Jamari, you need to prepare in all ways and facets, looking over tape. It's a big part of football. Preparing for every team takes hours and hours. As you can see, that's why there's weeks of practice before you get to games, and that is what Cienega prepares for.
Rene Valenzuela on the carry. Stephen Harshman, the senior, inside linebacker. The Mike back on the tackle. A gain of 6, and it's 3rd and 2 for the Tigers. Slight breeze here, a swirling wind going from right to left here at Tiger Stadium. The pristine field here in the town of Marana. Now Trenton Bourget, the quarterback, is not a big-time runner. I would classify him as more of a scrambler. Drops back to throw. Goes to his left side here, just off the outstretched fingertips of Diego Miranda, the junior wide receiver.
And you can tell that he just was making a pass as quick as possible to end that play, because coverage was starting to come. And it's funny because a lot of the defensive ends was trying to cover the wide receivers, and he could see that he was going to get covered, so he had to pass it a little bit offward to him.
But it was where it needed to be, right?
It was.
And I think Diego would have said that he should have caught that ball. Last week he had 4 catches for 103 yards. So he was one of 5 receivers to put some significant yardage in the stat sheet for the Tigers last week. Boy, that punt was under pressure there. And Terrell has to drift way back now and picks the ball up at the 12. And he's corralled and pulled out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
Wow, the ref is even brought down by that coverage.
Well, that's the back judge there, Mike Zinkin, and I talked to Mike before the game here tonight in the press box here at Tiger Stadium. So I guess it's a good time to introduce the crew officiating tonight, and Mike's just fine. He just got rolled over there out of bounds. Eddie Cocking is the referee. Bob Bertagnoli is the umpire. Gilbert Gurna is the linesman. Glenn Dobbin, the line judge, and Mike Zinkin is the back judge here for tonight's game between the Bobcats and the Tigers. A cat fight here in the desert. Week 1 for the Cats, week 2 for the Tigers. And a crescent moon now creeps out from behind the clouds. Just a beautiful evening here for football.
And you can't say it enough, but the scenery, the placement of the school is just beautiful, incredible.
Jamari on the keeper, goes to the right side here. Room to go.
Oh, big coverage.
17 yards on the carry from Jamari Joyner.
Yeah, and some extracurricular activity after the play as Jamari Joyner gave him a stiff arm to the helmet.
I did see that. Tackle made there by TJ Seffers, who's a junior linebacker for the Tigers.
And you will see that aggressiveness in football. There's a lot of plays made. Some stuff are not seen, and refs won't call it, but as a player, you got to fight through it because there's no reason to get thrown out of a game.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of chippiness, I don't think, right? Both players and both teams confident in their abilities, so there's got to be some machismo out there on the field. Jamari steps up to throw, goes left side, goes deep here. Oh! In and out of the hands of Hayward. He had it in his hands at the 15, and it would have been off to the races, but he juggled the football and couldn't hold on to it.
That would have been a huge coverage and a huge down for the Bobcats.
Well, Jamari shows his arm strength off there. Ball traveling about 50 yards in the air, and he dropped it into a teacup, as it were. And Terrell would tell you he should have had that one.
Incomplete pass, second down.
And just amazing how you can throw a pass that far, just showing how Jamari is a true athlete.
Oh, a true athlete with all kinds of offers to play Division I, maybe at quarterback. Maybe they'll try to convert him and have him play cornerback on defense or wide receiver. But I would like to see him have the shot to play quarterback. Jamari back to throw. All the time to throw. Down the middle,
good.
Stephen Harshman, the tight end on the catch, and a gain of 19 on the catch by the big senior, number 21, Stephen Harshman. There's no pressure here on Jamari early. You wonder if the Tigers are going to have to change something up to put some pressure on him, and maybe they'll mix in some blitzes so he's a little bit less comfortable, because Jamari's got all the time to throw back there in the pocket. Nobody in his face at all.
And that's all due to the offensive line giving him as much time as he needs to make a proper pass. You know, there's nothing worse than throwing an interception, but when you have a quarterback that has a good offensive line that can give their quarterback enough time to make a good pass, that's what you want.
Well, it's a little jet sweep here to Terrell Hayward. A flag goes down.
Flag is thrown.
Looks like a hold there going against the Cats, so this one will probably come back. Terrell picked up 10 on the carry, but the referee and the head linesman here now having a conversation about what happened.
I think it's just amazing how much we see Terrell Hayward on the field. He goes out for one play and then comes back for like 4. He's out there a lot, offense, defense. He's got a lot of stamina.
Again, Terrell is an amazing athlete. You know, making plays is what they need him to do, and he definitely does it every single time for the Bobcats.
Well, think about this. This is him receiving last year was 582 yards. Wow. He ran for almost 200, and on kick returns, 359. So a total last year of 1,283 yards for the season, including 7 touchdown receptions. So a really talented threat, but you're right, his conditioning is peak. So he's able to have so many reps out there on the field in all phases of the game. It's a nice weapon to have at your deployment.
It is, especially when it's crunch time.
Well, this is strange for me now. So number 5 is not Braven Bolton, the Matrix, who graduated last year. It's Kevon Waples, the junior, donning that number 5 jersey. He's out there to the near side. Jamari rolls to the left, looks for the option, keeps it, and is tackled as he lunges out of bounds. So a short pickup there for Jamari.
Yeah, and Braven Bolton, Cienega alum, great receiver last year, is now playing football at Mesa Community College.
So
So extending his football career and playing receiver for the Aztecs.
Just think about how much of an impact that Haywood made last year as a sophomore. Now as a junior, with all that experience and big game experience that the Cats played last year, he's really going to be the featured weapon here on offense for the Cats.
And
so
then,
go ahead.
And then as a senior, big role there. I think this year he's going to be Jamari Joyner's favorite target.
I think so. Trey White getting some early looks here. His third target, that's in and out of the hands of Trey White, number 17, the big senior, 6'3", and Jerry stepped away from basketball last year, and he vowed to return to the hard court this year in the wintertime, so he'll be another weapon for Matt Johnson and the basketball coaching staff, Farbad Safavi, and the rest of the crew there on that team. Always a playoff contender, a state contender on an annual basis. Third and long here, 3rd and 17. Jamari back to throw. Here's the pressure now, rolls to his right. Looks to throw. There's Trey White. Oh, great defensive play there at the last second. Number 30, Zach Roberts, the senior safety, one of the captains here tonight for the Tigers.
And Jordan Morgan was a huge part of that, as you can see, number 77, putting pressure on Jamari, making him have to throw a bad pass.
Yeah, and Zach Roberts there with the pass deflection. He's also a running back. He had 2 rushing touchdowns for this Marana team last week against Ironwood Ridge.
Number 77, Jordan Morgan, the big defensive end, was there applying the pressure, getting in the face of Jamari Joyner. So now Jamari, his third punt attempt here from his own 47-yard line. The speedy Tion Simmons, number 2, is lurking at his own 10, awaiting Jamari's punt. High punt goes far side. It's out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
And you can tell that Jamari personally likes kicking it higher because that bounce gives him that extra ability to possibly get the ball back and possibly gain even more yards that the Tigers are going to be down, which is very huge.
That punt was 30 yards net, so an earlier one of 50, and there's 30 on that one. And I agree, McVeigh, if you have some hang time on your punt, it allows all the guys on the coverage team to get underneath there exactly and get ready to tackle that receiver or the punt returner. Tigers now, they have 3 wide outs to the near side, 1 far side, and a running back next to Trenton Bourget. Handoff goes left side. Tackle is made by Diego Ruby, number 2, the junior cornerback.
And up is number 20, Renee Valenzuela for the Tigers. Brought down by number 2, Diego Ruby for the Bobcats.
The Cats have a couple of Diegos that we'll see tonight. Number 1 is Diego Rivas. He's the junior linebacker, hybrid linebacker. And there was Diego Ruby, who will spell in at corner for the Cats in the mix in the defensive backfield. I think I have a termite on my hand there. Had to blow that one off.
And up is number 21, Jesus Valenzuela for the Tigers.
Jesus Valenzuela on the carry. Picks up 2. And Zach Mattis on the tackle. So now it's 3rd down and 8. 1:12 on the clock here, first quarter. The Bobcats are up 3-0. It was a field goal of 33 yards off the foot of Ezra Figueroa, accounting for all the scoring here tonight. Bourget back to throw, under pressure now, rolls to his right, may think about running it here. Carter Clark closing in on him, and Bourget picks up 5, maybe 6, but it'll be short of the first down by 2 yards.
And that's surprising, being that he's not much of a runner, more of a passer. And like you said, he's a scrambler, so that scrambling ability allow him to pick up those extra 6 yards that they need, such as this moment.
I think he's your kind of prototypical high school quarterback. He's always looking to move a little bit out of the pocket to buy some time, and then he's always looking to throw first. He's a throw first quarterback.
And that's what you want in a quarterback.
I agree. All right, Terrell Hayward now at the 30-yard line. Awaits the punt here. High snap. Boy, the Cats have gotten close on a couple of these attempted punt blocks. And a great roll here from the Tigers as it goes all the way down to the 12-yard line.
Ball be down at the Cienega 13-yard line. First down, Bobcats.
So a 63-yard punt here. And I think it was number 18 on the punt. Or maybe there's not. There's no 18 on my roster. So next time we'll be sure to mention who the punter is, because that was a 63-yard punt. When it was all said and done, he got a friendly roll, and Terrell allowed it to go over his head, which I think was a good choice. Difficult to field with your back against it, trying to go over the shoulder. And the Cats now pinned deep in their own end at the 13-yard line, 1st and 10. Hayward goes in motion to the far side. Trey White near side. Terrell Huggins on the far side at wideout, and two running backs flanking Joyner, who throws to his left. Connects with Hayward. Hayward stiff arms, rolls away. Oh! Some speed up to the inside. Another roll. Boy, the yards after the catch there. Very impressive by Terrell Hayward.
And that's the thing about Terrell is he's very crafty. He knows how to spin away, juke out his defender, and basically make a play like that.
And he's not big at all, so that just shows the strength that he has to spin away from two defenders like that.
Exactly, for his size too.
His strength, his low center of gravity, his athleticism, all on display. He spun away from Anthony Valencia and picked up 28 yards on the reception. Nate Amico, the senior linebacker and running back on the carry. And Nate plows his way forward for 3.
And the clock for the first quarter is going down. 9 seconds left.
So that'll take us to the end of the first quarter with the Bobcats up 3-0 here over the Tigers of Marana.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the first quarter, but it is the
And you would have to think that the Cienega Bobcats would have put more points on the board.
Bobcats helping Bobcats food drive. They're accepting donations of non-perishable food and cash or check. Boxes are set up at the front office of Cienega Monday through Friday between 8 to 4 p.m. Thank you for your support, Mrs. Burton and Mrs. Taggart.
Oh, beautiful, Jacob. I can't say enough good things about Liz Taggart, nor Steve Taggart, nor their daughter, Sophia Taggart. So Liz Taggart and Amy Burton, two of the nicest people you would ever want to meet. And they do so many things in the community and also for the high school at Cienega. Very caring individuals, always looking out for students in need. So Bobcats helping Bobcats, and the food drive is going on right now. So you can go to the front office Monday through Friday during office hours, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Well, the whole staff at the front office is terrific. So Sandra Mooney is the office manager, and then you have Diane Ross and Mrs. Clendaniel, Terry Tatham. The whole crew there in the front office is just fantastic. The counselors, John Tritz, Dana Graham, everybody really at the school is just terrific. So thanks to Liz Taggart and Amy Burton for putting together Bobcats Helping Bobcats, a charitable food drive to help kids in need and families in need to make ends meet. So if you have any non-perishable food items, canned goods, maybe rice in boxes, whatever, pasta, bring those things in and drop them off, and you'll be doing a good favor, and it'll make you feel better too. So third down here, we missed the last play because I was jib-jabbering. We've got 11:28 on the clock. The Cats have 3rd and 5 here. And we have a very enthusiastic public address announcer here at Tiger Stadium.
And you just gotta love the fan support by Marana. You know, people that are dedicated, wearing blue, supporting their team.
Well, you saw Jamari here trying to spin 7 different ways out of that, and that was a debacle. Now our late flag here as we've got some shoving and pushing from both ends.
And there was a late push from Gio Owens, the running back and defensive back for Cienega, and I think that's who they threw the flag on.
Like I said, in football, there's going to be a lot of aggressiveness. You know, people will fight. You know, if calls are not called against somebody, you know, it does get players riled up.
The one thing I worry about Jamari is he's so physical and willing to put his body out there on the line. and he's exposing himself to injury. So in a situation like that where you've got nowhere to run, we've seen him spin his way out of all kinds of difficulty in the past and spin like straw into gold, as it were. But in that case, he had 5 Tigers that were all pursuing him relentlessly. And at that kind of a situation, just take a knee.
And, you know, Jamar is a huge part of the offense, and he's a huge part of football, period, for Cienega. And an injury to him would be huge.
Oh, yeah.
Very damaging to the football team.
Yeah, that's your leader, the quarterback, the signal caller. A guy who had 30 touchdowns last year, 20 throwing and 10 rushing, 800 yards nearly rushing, 1,700 yards passing, a very high quarterback rating of 120, and as athletic of an athlete as you could hope to see at the high school level. So here he is now. And I worry about his ankles, honestly, and his legs. If one guy holds him and somebody else hits him and his body goes the wrong way, then that's how fractures and sprains can happen. But thankfully, avoiding injury there. And on 4th and 29, Jamari stands at his own 10 to punt the ball away. Gets a good bounce at the 35. This one's fielded by Jesus Valenzuela. Valenzuela eludes the first tackler, but he can't shake Diego Rivas. So Diego, the junior, on the tackle with great coverage there on special teams. Tigers have decent position, 1st and 10 from their own 32-yard line.
And like you mentioned, Mr. Miller, Jamari is a captain, he's a leader, but that's one thing you don't need to worry about with Cienega is that we have a lot of leaders that take charge and definitely help lead the team in the right direction and, you know, just support everybody. And, you know, at Cienega, we're a family.
I agree. You see that across the board, in the classroom, on the field, in the front office with Niemer Hasse and all the administrators who do such a fine job. Tim Nichols, the photo teacher and golf coach. Marty Niblo, who said he'd be listening tonight. So Marty, if you're listening, he does a spectacular job with that wrestling program. So you see a lot of these teachers that are involved in extracurricular activities, willing to spend extra time in the classroom, tutoring kids that need extra help.
And it's funny that you mentioned Mr. Niblo because he does the
open
gym, and I take part in it every time it's open. And honestly, I honestly just want to say thank you. You know, that's a huge part of, you know, why I, you know, like to go to school is because I know that at lunchtime I get to play basketball, and me and Jacob enjoy that.
And it's funny because I saw you both today. I mean, Jacob and I, we encountered each other in passing because I was talking to Marty Niblo. And then he was asking about the game tonight, and I'm like, oh, we've got McVeigh Butler III, and he's making his debut on Bobcat TV. We've got Jacob Greenberg, who's a crack play-by-play guy. And next week, you guys will be doing all of the calling, Jacob on play-by-play, and you, McVeigh, on color commentary. And I just can't tell you how excited I am to see your combination, because you guys are doing a great job. But I did see you play basketball in the small gym, or the Aux gym, as everyone calls it. I saw you playing a little bit, posting up down there. I saw it.
Yes, and I'm pretty positive that me and Jacob are going to make for a good team. We are friends. Definitely we've played basketball with each other on the same team. We know each other very well, and I do enjoy Jacob as company.
Awesome.
Goes back 2 years ago in the summer, made it to the championship and lost. Great team, and we had a lot of fun together.
We did.
At the Mulcahy YMCA?
Yes, we did. At the time, I think I was only heading into 9th grade. Maybe I was in 8th grade, maybe. And, you know, just a great learning experience and good bonding with all my teammates. And Jacob was the only one that really stuck. And I'm very grateful for that experience.
You guys are going places. I have no doubt about that. Great dedication and work ethic, Jacob. One of the leaders of Bobcat TV as a freshman last year. So now as a sophomore, and McVeigh, you as a junior, I'm excited about the future and the present.
And it's funny because I was talking to Mr. Avey, and he said that how wonderful Jacob is to, you know, him every single day, and he's a role model student and just a great person to be around, always shaking his hand and being appropriate.
That means a lot, man. Jacob, every time I see him, he has the hand extended for a handshake, and I can't tell you how impressive that is. Your brother Michael is the captain of the cross-country team. So I'm going to give a shout-out to Josh Farr and Scott Burnham, who have done a remarkable job building that program up. 55 runners strong, the most runners they've had for cross country. So it's girls and boys combined in the fall, and they're doing wonderful things as well. And even on campus, beautifying the campus with those natural trails that they've made and trying to find ways to conserve water. Here's a handoff now on 4th down, and it's very close. And I think with a lunge forward here, the Tigers will have picked up the first down. Conflicting signals here. The Bobcats running off the field saying no, they didn't make it. But it looked very close, and from my vantage point, I thought the Tigers did have the first down.
And this is where the refs need to meet and, talk about it and see what happened during the play, because in that type of moment, there's a lot of shuffling by players trying to make the play. Not to say that they cheat or anything, but just to say that there is a
little extra movement. The ball could slip forward a little bit.
It could, and those kind of plays are big in big moments. Thank God it's only the second quarter, but those kind of plays can damage you, especially with a score.
Yeah, and there's not the advantage of video replay, so it's a decision-making progress.
It is.
So not even a measurement here by the chain gang. I want to throw a shout out to the rest of the Bobcat TV crew who's out here tonight. Tanner Peterson, who is a sound and lighting expert. I forget which one, Tanner, but he's out here running camera tonight on our tape-delayed video feed. So we'll have that up hopefully on Monday on YouTube on our Bobcat TV channel. We have Caitlin Matisco, our fearless leader, the president. Jillian Summers, who is our former president, another great leader of Bobcat TV, and Joy Paul. To me, they're a triumvirate, a very powerful, formidable trio of young ladies who make a difference. And then Mason Porras is out here as well. So I think that rounds out our whole team out here tonight. So we meet on Wednesdays in 517 during lunch. On half-day weeks, we have a half-day next Wednesday. We'll meet on Tuesday during lunch. So we'll try to get that incorporated into our regular go. We've got T-shirts that we're ordering, and polos and hats for the kids in the club. We're excited about it. The measurements there, the chain gang, and now they signal that the Tigers do indeed have enough for a first down.
And like I said, the crowd here at Marana is amazing. And as you can see, they celebrated. And, that's all you want to see from a crowd supporting their team.
Well, it's not the shootout that many were expecting. And after last week, where both teams put up a combined 75, 76 points between Ironwood Ridge and Marana, you kind of expected to see some fireworks here. But defensively, these teams are really tightening things up. Dylan Hoos there on the tackle for a loss, and Tion Simmons on the jet sweep is brought down for a loss of 5. So it'll be 2nd down and 15 for the Tigers. Well, Dylan's the down safety, so the Cats play a 3-3-5. They have 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 2 corners, and 3 safeties. Hoos is typically the guy that will come up to be a run blocker or run supporter on that defense.
And that pass did have pressure.
Well, that was a great job there in defensive coverage by the Cats. And if there were going to be an interference call, it would have been against Alfred Ibanova, who was the sophomore wide receiver.
And you can see that the defensive backs are putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and that's what you want to see from Cienega. Making pressure plays through the passes, which is a big, huge part for Marana as they are a passing team.
We thought that was the key tonight, the defensive secondary play of Cienega against the passing attack, this prolific passing offense that the Tigers run. There's a little double screen here, and Tion Simmons may take this one all the way into the house for a touchdown, which he does. So 64 yards on the catch and run on a bubble screen to Tion Simmons.
Yeah, you look at the receptions last week, it was 4 receptions, 3 receptions for each receiver, but they were long receptions. They averaged over 25 yards per pass, and that's what they did right there, 64-yard touchdown.
And you would have never thought that being brought back 6 yards, they would be able to come with a touchdown the very next play. Good play by Marana, and that's what you want to see from their running game, which hasn't been brought up to a full extent as their passing game, which is absolutely magnificent.
Jaime Avila, number 83, is the kicker. And the extra point is up and good. Well, that's a huge play. Jacob, you were talking last week. Keon Simmons last week, he only had 2 catches, but he had 82 yards, including 2 touchdowns. So he had a 55-yard reception and a 27-yard reception, 2 touchdowns. Now here he is tonight, relatively quiet, but there's a 64-yard quick strike on a perfectly executed, perfectly timed bubble screen to the near side. It was a catch and fly, and he flew down the near sidelines for a touchdown from Trenton Bourget, and the Tigers up now 7-3.
And I bet you the coaching staff for Cienega football will make sure that does not happen again. They tighten up on their defense and make sure that no play like that happens again, but it was unexpected.
Well, you wonder here in this opening game from Cienega if there's a little bit of rust, a little bit of cobwebs they're trying to shake off here, because they have not seemed to have found their rhythm yet on offense. We've seen some drop passes, and they've lost a lot of talent. Think about all the guys that were lost to graduation from last year, just on the offensive side of the ball, where you have Braven Bolton, the Matrix, Dakota Poe, a prolific running back with breakaway speed. You have Chris Vega on defense, the linebacker position. You have Bryce Fontana on the offensive and defensive fronts. Aaron Aros, the kicker. I mean, there was talent all over the place, and all those guys graduated. But to me, Braven Bolton was kind of like the key ingredient that made that offense click. And as a slot receiver, he could find seams and little spaces in the defense, little pockets of open space where he could work, and then he was great at catching and making runs after the catch. So without Braven, the Matrix, and I call him that because he did magical things, you just wonder where that extra component or the extra element of offense is going to come from.
But, even though, every year, remember, we lose players, and the good part is that Cienega has a great football program. They build their talent up from freshman year all the way up to their senior year and make sure that they come prepared every single year. So even though they lost amazing talent, I doubt that it'll affect them very much with the new upcoming juniors.
True. They always lose talent. They always replenish from within. There's always a stockpile of athletic players here. We've got an injured cat down now on the field at the 25-yard line. And we'll try to see who that is. Got some flying ants. One landed on my hand earlier, now one's on my neck. So it's kind of the weather for that kind of atmosphere. Entomologists out there would know what types of insects we're talking about.
And as injured players on the field, amazing to see that Marana is showing respect and taking a knee.
Yes, and that's Terrell Hayward. So Terrell at the 25 hops up here, and he's walking slightly gingerly, and now he's walking a little bit more speedily to the sideline here, so that's encouraging. But that's certainly one player the Cats cannot afford to lose.
No, but he's a very tough player, and I'm pretty positive that it's nothing serious, and he'll be able to bounce back probably in the next couple plays.
Looks like he's walking it off. He's going to go to the bench and maybe get a little bit quick treatment there from Kyle Bowen, the head trainer for the Cats. So now it's 2nd down and 5. The Bobcats are down 7-3, 8 minutes on the clock in the second quarter. Damari back to throw. Near side screen, Terrell Huggins. Terrell, stiff arm, but now he runs back into 3 Tiger tacklers. And maybe a short gain of 2 on the reception, setting up 3rd and 3.
Number 20, Terrell Huggins for the Bobcats, brought down by number 6, Zoeus Ratliff for the Tigers.
There is speed on the team and on the field here for the Cats, right? Jamari Joyner, Rodney Rogers, Gio Owens, who we have not really seen too much here yet tonight, and then also Thomas Webb Jr., and Terrell Huggins, Terrell Hayward. That's a lot of speed on the field. It's a matter of getting these guys in open space and letting them make some plays. Whistle down here, and it looks like we have a player from the Cats that's down, grimacing a little bit and getting up slowly. That's number 71, Darian Torres. We have a false start here going against the Cats.
With the 5-yard penalty, the ball is spotted at the Cienega 23-yard line.
Bobcat line here tonight, and I'm always remiss here by not mentioning the offensive line. Mark Fontana, Steve Schween do a terrific job with the offensive line. I'll let you know who those players are after this play. 3rd and 8, Joyner back to throw. In the pocket, lost it to his right, looking for Jerry White. extends the hand, and it's overthrown ever so slightly. Back there in great coverage for the Tigers, it was Jesus Valenzuela, the senior cornerback.
And with 7:02 on the clock for the second quarter, that is going to be huge for Cienega to make a big play before the half to give them that extra confidence booster that they need to come back strong in that second half.
And a dearth of first downs. Not a lot of first downs here for the Cats. Not a lot of clock-eating drives here. So they're really putting more pressure on their defense, who's been on the field for quite some time here, have the Bobcats. So now Jamari comes out to punt. And Jesus Valenzuela, who was right back in coverage moments ago, another versatile player, is set to return here. The diminutive senior, 5'7", 153. Ball bounces at the 40. He lets it go by here. And good coverage there by Sergio Torres, the junior, who downs the ball at the 20-yard line. So a 55-yard punt there for Jamari Joyner, another good one. He's been getting not the booming kind of punts that you like to see here with a lot of hang time, but he's been getting the roll for sure. And in the stat sheet, nobody will know the difference.
And as you can see on that punt, it was at more of a horizontal angle, more so than that extra vertical angle that Jamari usually punts it at, which definitely caused that extra bounce not to be there this punt.
Well, the big play here tonight, it was Tion Simmons, the senior receiver, a 64-yard touchdown catch and run on a perfectly executed bubble screen from Trenton Bourget, the junior quarterback. Bourget now in the shotgun at his own 12, under pressure.
Oh, tackle missed.
And he delivers on target here for a gain of 12 and a first down for the Tigers.
And Dante Bowdy barely missed that tackle. And that could have been huge for the Bobcats, bringing them back possibly an extra 3 yards.
Yeah, and Dante Bowdy, a total surprise for me. He was set to transfer to a high school in Texas, but I saw him on campus earlier this week. Now here's a screenplay with some good blocking downfield to the right side, and a gain of 11 on the play. And it's Zach Roberts, the senior running back, on the catch and run. And for the Cats, it was Zach Mattis on the tackle. First and 10 Tigers from their own 43. So Dante Bowdy, number 52, the senior, is a stalwart on the defensive line, also the offensive line. Bowdy there on the tackle, a gain of 2 on the carry by Rene Valenzuela. So second down and 8, 6:20 on the clock, second quarter. Tigers on top, 7-3.
And opposite number 20, Rene Valenzuela for the Tigers. Brought down by number 52, Dante Bowdy for the Bobcats. 2 yards gain on the play. Second down.
Jesus Valenzuela comes motion near side. Bourget rolls to the right. Steps out of bounds. He shuffles his way under some pressure there by Diego Rivas that was trying to apply a hit. So a gain of a yard, maybe 2.
And the quarterback usually always does that to avoid injury, because nobody wants to get hit at all by anybody, period.
No.
Especially by our Cienega
Tacklers, linebackers.
tacklers.
You're not going to get any points here for heart or courage taking unnecessary hits. All the coaches want their quarterbacks to avoid hits, slide on the turf, get out of bounds, get rid of the football. Bourget rolls to his left, throws to his left.
Almost intercepted.
There. And it was a dangerous pass. Double coverage. Luis Morales and Diego Ruby were both back there in coverage. Morales, a junior, and Ruby, the junior.
Yeah, and Luis Morales, he is the backup quarterback this year, and we're probably going to see him start next year as a senior. Came off great JV season last year and is now the backup to Jamari Joyner.
Well, it's interesting to say this so early in a ball game, but with 5:53 on the clock in the second quarter, that was a big defensive stand for the Bobcat defense. High punt here, drifts down to the 25, and you always have to worry about the guys that are on the return team. Sergio Torres was drifting back with his back to the football. Sometimes these guys get clipped by the football, and then it's a free ball, so it's a tough job, special teams.
Special teams is, and every aspect of football is practiced, especially special teams, because those kind of plays can cause you the game, and that's, why special teams is such a big part of football.
Jaime Avila, who is also the place kicker, he converted an extra point earlier, and he's done a sterling job here as the punter for these Tigers. Bobcats 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. 5:45 on the clock. Cats going right to left. White jerseys, white pants, copper helmets. The Tigers in their tiger blue and gold. Terrell Hayward runs laterally here and is brought down, maybe a loss of a yard on the play.
And you just got to believe that the coaches stress that in this next 5 minutes, it is huge to come up with a touchdown, and that is what they're focused on right now.
Other guys I was thinking about from last year, Nico Jordan and Aaron Sauls, along with Dakota Poe, were a trio of really talented running backs. All those backs had one thing in common. They ran vertically, north-south. We haven't seen that yet here tonight. Runners have gone vertically or horizontally with the line of scrimmage. Pass there, nice catch by Hayward. He spins, takes a hit, and goes down to the 45. So it's a gain of 16 on the catch. In traffic there by Hayward.
And like I said, Hayward is very crafty, an amazing player, and he knows how to get away from defenders. And that is huge for those extra plays. Kind of reminds me of Ezekiel Elliott of the Cowboys.
Very talented player.
Very talented.
Coming out of Ohio State as a receiver and a runner. Now a running play goes to the right side there. It's Devin Garrett, the senior, on the carry, picks up 7. The Cats here starting to get a little bit of momentum in their offense. But what a great catch by Hayward to make the catch and take the hit.
That's what you want to see from Terrell, and he's known for that kind of stuff. And, huge run right now. If Cienega picks up steam, it could be trouble for Marana.
Near side intended for Jerry White, and even Trey at 6'3", that was out of his reach. And a little extra bump there from Zayas Ratliff, number 6, the junior. Zoeus Ratliff, number 6. Good coverage there. Hey, if you can get a free lick in, why not take one? It's like an ice cream cone. Get your licks while you can.
Yeah, that's
Third
right.
and 2 for the Bobcats. A big third down. Jamari, screen to the near side, and they're wondering if it's a lateral or a backward pass, and it's just an incomplete pass. Now, you've got 4th and 2. The ball is at the 47-yard line of Marana. You wonder if the Cats might roll the dice and go for it here. They call a timeout. Pat Nugent is conferring with his quarterback, Jamari Joyner, on the far side. He's got his right arm wrapped around Jamari's back. And you know they're going to be discussing what should we do in this situation.
And that's where Jamari comes in, because as a quarterback, you need to know the strategies. You need to know if you can make a play, because giving them an easy 50 yards like that is going to hurt them if they do mess up the play, which will cause Marana to be able to get another touchdown and put the Cats in a bad position.
Well, here's the element that you wonder about. With Jamari at the punting position, with his speed and athleticism, I'm sure he might be given a green light here. Jamari, roll to one side or the other. If you think you can go. If you don't think you can, then punt the ball away. So we'll see if Jamari has the option here to run or punt. And it looks like the Cats here are in the offensive set. So Terrell Huggins near side. We've got Trio near side, or Trips near side. Rodney Rogers on the inside. The slot man is Terrell Hayward, who goes in motion far side. Terrell Huggins near side. Hayward now comes back this way. Jamari back to throw. It's a pass play all the way. All the time in the world. Jamari rolls left, goes back to the right. He's got room to go now. The wheels to pick up the first down.
He's going.
Inside the 30 to the 25 to the 20.
He's gone.
Looking for the corner. A stiff arm there at the 8-yard line, and a big play by Jamari Joyner.
And that is what you want to see from your quarterback, making good decisions and making a big play for Cienega.
34 yards on the play. That's the biggest play from scrimmage here for the Cats. So it wasn't exactly what we thought, although it ended up being what we thought may have happened. It wasn't a punt play. It was a pure, we're going for it on 4th down. And then receivers were covered. There was pressure from the left end, and Jamari just spun back the other way. We've seen him do that so often. There was no one there, and wide open space from the right hash to the sideline, and a big play, 34 yards. First down, Cats in business now from the 11.
And you can tell that he was planning on passing it, because you could tell the safeties definitely knew because they saw, as a safety, you need to be able to read the quarterback's eyes and understand what he's thinking and where he wants to go, and they definitely saw that. But crafty by Jamari to do such a thing as cover and get so many yards as he did.
Coach Andy Litton was saying that there was a legal procedure.
Touchdown!
Joyner splashes through the right side, and he just darts. You see that speed. 11 yards on the quarterback keeper, scarcely touched, rolling through there.
And that's like a slasher mentality. Slashing through the defense is what you want to see. As a runner, it is very hard to get through defense, but that's why you depend on your offensive line to give you that space to fit through those pockets, which is huge in college running.
Well, at the high school level, it's a luxury to have a quarterback that has that kind of speed and athleticism. We saw it on back-to-back plays. 34 yards on the first down run, 11 on the touchdown run, 45 yards on 2 plays, like a record. Jamari Joyner, the Jet, on the touchdown. And here's Ezra Figueroa for his extra point attempt. It's up, and it is good. So Ezra Figueroa,
and dealing with a little bit of pressure there, as you can see.
Truly,
it's quite impressive. But like you said, he's a soccer player. He's very good at kicking. That is what he does. And you can see there, even though they have an injured punter, kicker, yeah,
Austin Del Rio,
right?
Coming through big like that is huge, and that's why I feel that they were confident to put Ezra at that position.
Well, that's interesting. All the momentum here was on the Tigers' side, and you could feel the crowd was feeding off of the play that was happening on the field. And just like that, it was Jamari with his legs and his football IQ taking off on a first down and then finding on a called play there to the right, just a little quarterback bootleg, and he just cut it north-south running with the speed. Maybe a fingertip touched his jersey.
And it's funny, the field separates 2 sides of Marana and Cienega, whoever supports it, and it's as if the crowd is playing tug of war with each other, pulling on each other when the plays are going towards their side. And that's huge for Marana and for Cienega. And as you can see, Cienega has now the upper hand in this battle.
Well, we're pilgrims in a strange land over here. We're in enemy territory, as it were, on the top here of a packed Tiger grandstand. And just great fans here tonight showing their support for their Tigers. On the opposite end of the field, the Bobcats have also traveled pretty well. Those visiting grandstands, which are maybe a fifth of what we have on this side, are packed to the gills as well. And we've got all the band here, the Copper Thunder Marching Band, under the direction of Jim Matsushino, the award-winning Copper Thunder Marching Band, out here as well. So the Cats always travel well. It's almost like going to battle. You have a caravan, which includes the football team, the cheerleaders, the parents, the fans, the spectators, the band. Bobcat TV is a small contingent of that. We kind of isolate ourselves. We're a satellite of this football program, but we're happy to be here. But it's nice to see such a turnout from both sides tonight. Some great enthusiasm and spectacular rooting from both teams.
And it's big to have your family here at Cienega. We're a family, and having your family here to support in any small group, big group, whatever it may be, if you're supporting, that's what Cienega wants, because we are a family. And in the end, it is huge in these plays because we support our team, and like you said, it's like going to battle. And when you have everybody there supporting you, it makes it easier to go on the field with people backing you up.
It's not quite the loot train battle from Game of Thrones. We don't have any dragons here. I don't think you watched that show. Hopefully not.
No, I don't.
It's quite excellent, but certainly not appropriate. So a little bit of a contradiction there. 2nd and 10. Tigers going from their own 20-yard line left to right. Trenton Bourget back to throw, off his back foot to the left, and it was a miscommunication. The receiver, it was Diego Miranda, the junior, cutting to the inside, and Bourget was expecting him to cut to the outside. So a timing pattern, anticipation, and just a miscommunication between the quarterback and his receiver.
And that's something that I bet you Marana will want to fix almost automatically, because as a quarterback, you need to be as closely connected with your wide receivers as a quarterback, because that is a huge part of making plays as a quarterback.
Well, this team here, they were on the Tucson Turf 7-on-17. They won a national championship, and Bourget was part of that. There's a nice catch there. Diego Miranda on the reception, and a gain of 23 on the play. So 1st and 10 Tigers at their own 45. 3 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock in the second quarter. the Bobcats clinging to a 3-point lead at 10-7. Handoff goes to the right side. It's turned up and a gain of 4 yards by Zach Roberts, who has a couple of carries here tonight. One of 4 captains from the Tigers, along with Tion Simmons, who scored earlier tonight. Diego Miranda, who's been active at receiver and cornerback. And number 52, Angel Ledesma, the senior defensive tackle and lineman for the Tigers, as the Bobcats call a timeout, their second timeout here of the evening. So why would they call a timeout at this juncture with 2:59 on the clock?
Well, I personally think that they're trying to see, because there's only about 3 minutes, 2:59 on the clock, and these type of crunch time moments, they don't want Marana to go out into the second half with a lead, and preventing that is huge for confidence for Cienega. What do you think, Jacob?
Yeah, it's a big philosophy in football. Get out of the half with a lead, and your team will be ready to go in the third. When you have a deficit coming into the second half, your team is down, and they're not ready to go in the second half as if you were up.
Precisely.
Jacob, could you give a quick pitch here for Bobcats helping Bobcats? We'll wait till after the play, maybe. We'll give you a little bit of time to get set. I thought that timeout was going to last a little bit longer here. Trenton Bourget under center, 2nd and 5. It's a pitch to the left. Cut inside there, sheds a tackler, and then it's stacked up, so a gain of 2 on the play. Bobcats helping Bobcats.
Bobcats helping Bobcats. Food drive. They're accepting donations of non-perishable food and cash or checks. Boxes are set up at the front office of Cienega Monday through Friday. Office hours between 8 to 4 p.m. Thank you for your support, Mrs. Burton and Mrs. Taggart.
Excellent, excellent. 3rd down and 3. And it's a handoff up the middle. 1st down and more. Down to the 20. Shut the tackler. And it's going to be all the way to the house. 49 yards on a touchdown run by Rene Valenzuela.
And like we said, that is the purpose of that timeout for Cienega, but not able to do it when, as we said at the very beginning, quite surprising to see that Marana is doing so well on the run plays, because we came into the game expecting more of a passing dominance, more so than a running. Yeah. And even on the catch, you can tell that they're doing well running all the way through, and they got a touchdown because of that.
Yeah, and if he is not on the track team, the Marana track and field coaches need to recruit him, because that was speedy.
Definitely.
I think the Bobcats were surprised on defense. So another nice play call there by Andy Litton and his Tigers coaching staff. And the extra point from Jaime Avila is no good. So it's Tigers now, 13, Bobcats 10, with 2:19 on the clock here in the first half.
Yeah, you just got to wonder, can Cienega make a play with 2:19? It requires fast offense, and I think that Cienega might be able to put some points on the board, maybe even tie it up with a field goal kick. Again, Ezra is a great kicker, plays soccer, and, including Jamari on top of that, able to run that ball, and like we saw last play, the touchdown, he was very crafty with it.
Yeah, it's a good point. Ezra Figueroa, we're not sure of his range yet, but he did connect from 33 yards out here tonight to open the scoring, and he converted his extra point, and both kicks looked very good.
Yeah, well, he has not missed. Last week at Copper Thunder, he made a field goal. This week, he converted his PAT and also put a field goal on the board for the Bobcats.
2:19 on the clock, and that is enough time to make something happen. McVeigh, as you said, maybe a field goal could be in the works here. Jaime Avila, the kickoff, and Terrell Hayward receiving at his own 5. Cuts up the middle. Now goes to the right side. He's got some room to go. And breaking through across the 40. Breaking through. Cuts to the near side here at the 45 to the 40. And now slows down, spins, and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. And maybe a late hit there. But a great return from Terrell Hayward.
And that is huge, because that gives them great offensive position, which is tremendous for Cienega. That is what you want to see on the kickoff return.
65 yards on the kickoff return by Terrell Hayward, setting up the Cats in great field position here, inside the 30 at the 28 with 2:03 on the clock. And I do think Terrell got a little bit winded there. He's been on the field an awful lot, at wide receiver, at cornerback, kick return, and punt return. And I think he just was like, I'm going to spin. If it happens, great. And then he went out of bounds. And a good late tackle there. It was number 40, Bryant Williams, on the tackle. Cats in business. 1st and 10 at the Tiger 28-yard line. High snap. Jamari hands off. Coming near side here, it's Gio Owens. And Owens, we've heard a lot about him. He's also one of those 4 relay sprinters. I don't know if it's the 4x100 meter relay sprint or the 4x4. I don't know the distance, so forgive me, track fans out there. But there's Gio Owens with lightning speed, 8 yards on the carry. So he, Rodney Rogers, Jamari Joyner, and I think Terrell Huggins are that quartet on the relay team.
And it's funny to mention this, but, you know, I mentioned about time, but because of Terrell, we don't have to worry about that right now because we have great field position, plenty of time, nothing to rush, and making clean plays is what matters right now. No reason to, you know, not waste the clock right now. This is what the kind of setup that Cienega was looking for, and thanks to Terrell Hayward, we got that.
Excellently stated. 1:16 on the clock. Ball's at the 17. Jamari, swing pass to the right. Ball is caught by Diego Ruby. Oh, and Diego, go! Touchdown! Go, Diego, go! 18 yards on the touchdown catch by the junior. Sorry, Dora fans, it's just there. It's too easy. So Diego Ruby, 22 yards, or 18 yards, excuse me, 18 yards on the touchdown catch.
Yeah, and it was that type of screen pass, and he just put on the jets to make sure that no Tiger defenders could enclose on him.
That's what you want to see, though, is that the offensive line, including their extra wide receivers out there, are blocking, making sure that that run play got through, and because of that, they have a touchdown now, and the lead is back with Cienega.
Ezra Figueroa with those beautiful neon pink shoes splits the uprights. The Cats reclaim the lead 17-13 with 1:07 on the clock here in the second quarter. Well, this is turning into a whale of a ball game.
You can definitely see, like I said, the tug of war is continuing on and on, wondering who will tug next and who will regain the lead.
That's a good metaphor. I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, you taught me about metaphors, so...
I like that even more. Very nice. Very nice. 17-13 Cats. Wow. Diego Ruby, the junior, 5'9", 152. Small in stature, but great speed. The catch and run there. And Jamari is quietly putting together another sterling effort here tonight. An 11-yard touchdown run, which he set up on his own. And then the deft passing here. He's becoming more accurate. He's honing his throws in these small little windows, and he's able to drop them right where he wants to. So Joyner is flashing all the athleticism, which we knew coming into the match here tonight that he possesses. And Trenton Bourget, his counterpart for the Tigers, has also shown here tonight brilliantly under a crescent moon. Just a beautiful evening here. Temperature in the low 80s tonight as Ezra Figueroa, with those neon pink shoes, gets ready to kick off here for the Cats. Squib kick. Down to the 30, hits off a lineman who was up front there. Now picked up and fielded by Jesus Valenzuela, near side, 25. He's got a blocker and a seam and a flag down, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 50-yard line. But I think this one's coming back here. An illegal block in the back is likely the call going against the Tigers. Or a holding call.
And again, we did not expect to see from Marana that kind of run game, which has definitely helped them out this game.
Yeah, the run game, I mean, look, last week, their big runner was Rene Valenzuela. He had 65 yards. They had a couple of guys who had 15, 13 yards, but not much of a running game when it was all said and done. Most teams try to find some sort of balance between pass and run. Marana does not do that, although we have seen that clearly on display here tonight. So maybe taking what was expected to do and flipping it around, flipping the script against the Bobcat defense here. And the Tigers have been very successful mixing the run in with the pass. In what you would think would be passing situations, they've run the ball, and they've been very effective doing that here tonight. Rene Valenzuela, a 44-yard touchdown run. and they've been a solid, balanced attack here on offense.
That's what you want to see, is a team that is compatible both ways and can change up their offense according to what they think is going to benefit them, and they definitely have benefited from that because the pass game has not been very nice to them, but the run game has been very good.
True, and not deep vertical passes, but we've seen the screen pass for a big touchdown, and we've seen some small and intermediate routes here, and Bourget is very effective throwing on the run, rolling out to the right or rolling out to the left, which is what we anticipated also coming in here tonight. Play action, Bourget rolls to his right. A little flare pass to the near side. The ball is complete to Jesus Valenzuela, who has been nice tonight. 7 yards on the catch.
Stephen Harshman making the tackle.
Big, smart, intelligent player in the classroom, on the field, one of those leaders on the defense. He has Ivy League offers to go play at Yale and Harvard. So kind of like the world's the oyster here for Stephen Harshman. He's expected to do great things. So you certainly anticipate that he'll make a lot of plays tonight. So third down now, 5 yards to go, 26 seconds on the clock, and a penalty going against the Bobcats. So now the ball's placed at the 38-yard line. There's Bob Bertagnoli. I know him from my days as a lifeguard, so it's fun to see him. Good old Bob, the umpire there in midfield, part of that Tucson Parks and Recs under Billy Sassy in the aquatics department. Bourget off the run. Nice pass there, 45. Shedded the tackler and down to the 38-yard line. And the catch was made by Diego Miranda.
And Dante Bowdy was definitely giving him pressure to the quarterback, which in hand did rush him, but at the same time gave him great eyesight to be able to see an open pass.
Tigers with 20 seconds and 2 timeouts here and some time to make something happen. Bourget back to throw. He's got time, looking down the middle, now rolls to his right, shakes the tackler. It was Carter Clark who missed with his paw, and out of bounds at the 32-yard line goes Bourget, and 12.3 ticks of the clock left.
And you just got to be amazed at how fast Marana is moving that ball, because as starting from their own end zone and getting into Cienega's, that is a huge part of coming into this quarter, and it's kind of putting a lot of pressure on Cienega to make a big defensive play.
They could run something intermediate in the interior of the field and try to get 10, 12 yards to set up their own field goal attempt. They have 2 wideouts far side, 2 near side. One now goes in motion, and that's Diego Miranda. Bourget rolls to his left. 9 seconds on the clock. 8 seconds now.
Being rushed by Dante Bowdy.
Throw toward the end zone. Big catch there at the 5-yard line. 2 seconds on the clock, and now Marana calls a timeout with 1.7 seconds on the clock. It was a great catch in traffic by Alfred Ibanoha.
And this is the part where Cienega needs to come in and stop the offense, because the run play is going to be implemented in this, but at the same time, you cannot trust that the quarterback will not do a quarterback sneak play. And that is huge for Marana.
Well, if you're Marana, you can kick a field goal, which is not a certainty. They've missed an extra point tonight. Or you have a bunch of different options here with a mobile quarterback. You could roll him and bootleg him, try to throw off the run, or maybe surprise again and try a handoff. But I would imagine it'd be some sort of a pass play or maybe a field goal attempt.
Yes, but they don't really want a field goal at this point in time, because even with a field goal, they would not be tied with Cienega. And knowing that they gave up on the touchdown, and because this is a big play, because if they stop them going in to the second half, that depletes their confidence in a huge way, and that's nothing that you want to see, is a team get close to a touchdown and then be definitely swatted away by it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Cienega received the opening kickoff of the game. Am I wrong on that?
I believe so.
I don't know. We'll have to find out. So next time I'll make a note of that. So now the Tigers are going for it. And why not? The ball's at the 4-yard line. First and goal, Tigers. Last play of the half. Bourget rolls to his right, looks to throw, stutter steps,
almost tackled,
goes far side. Touchdown! What a catch by Tion Simmons. 4 yards on the touchdown reception, and Trenton Bourget dazzling, putting on the brakes and pulling across his body as Simmons, Tion rolled all the way along the back line of the end zone And it was a perfectly lofted pass there.
It was.
From Trenton Bourget to Tion Simmons.
Yeah.
You can tell that he floated that pass just to let him have enough time to run over there and grab it.
Yeah, he showed his vision there, rolling to the right. He saw a man rolling to the left in Captain Tion Simmons and got him for the touchdown.
And you just got to wonder if this will definitely hurt the Bobcats in the end, because going out of the half, losing by 3 points off of a touchdown, 2 points, sorry, my bad. It definitely hurts the morale of the team, and you have to wonder, how will the coaches bounce back and get their players and heads in the game?
Well, it's a gutsy call, and I like it. I like it from a broadcasting perspective. I like it from a fan's perspective. Andy Litton, the coach of the Tigers, 9-3 last year, took them to the playoffs. And Jacob, you were talking about how rarely these Tigers make the playoffs. How many times have they been in the playoffs in the last 16 years?
They've been in the playoffs 2 times in the last 16 years.
And last year was one of those under Andy Litton. So Litton here is making a statement. He's telling his players, he's telling all these fans who paid their hard-earned cash to attend this game here tonight, we're going to win. We're trying to win this ball game here tonight. It's a gutty call. First and goal from the 4. Trenton Bourget, everything at stake there, rolling to his right under pressure, slammed on the brakes, stopped on a dime, cut back, and fired across his body to the left, right between the P and the R in the center of the end zone in front of those uprights, the goalpost, and a great catch on the run by Tion Simmons, who has 2 touchdowns tonight. One is 64 yards on the bubble or the jet screen, and the other one is 4 yards. Both of them are huge here tonight. So 2 touchdown catches last week, 2 touchdown catches here tonight. The Cats in the locker room at halftime had to come up with a way to slow down Tion Simmons and try to contain Trenton Bourget.
And speaking about Andy Litton, he took over this team in 2012 and has done a great job since. He took over after the devastating 0-10 Marana Tigers team, took the team from Coach Coronado. And he's looking to make another playoff run this year.
And that's amazing to have a huge turnaround, but for 16 years to only make it twice and come into a new program where making a huge difference and leading them to the playoffs. You just got to wonder what kind of coaching that he's doing for his Marana boys.
Well, he resurrected this program. This program was dead, and Andy Litton came in here and has built this program into a respectable power in Southern Arizona.
Yes.
So we've got halftime. I'm going to stop the broadcast here. We're limited in time with Mixler, which is how we're streaming this audio game here tonight. So synchronize your watches, Cat fans. We've got 13:30 on the clock here in halftime. I'm going to synchronize my watch and start it here. We'll be back in 13 minutes exactly. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Cienega Bobcat football on Bobcat TV. Tigers up 19-17. We'll be back in 13. We'll go back on. Are you guys ready to go?
All right. You hear me? Yep. All right. I wonder if they're going to break through that poster. I swear. I do it, nigga. Look at that.
All right, we're back in action here. McVay Butler III, Jacob Greenberg, Jason Miller. Jacob, break down the first half for us. What was happening here?
First half, Marana throwing the ball. Every throw is a big reception. And running the ball, it's big receptions. Cienega, they're doing a great job on defense with the run game, but they need to do better on the run after catches, because that's what's hurting them right now. And then for Cienega, they had that early interception from Terrell Hayward, which gave them the hype, and now they're down 2 coming into the half after a missed PAT, and they're here to try and gain the lead back as they've led it twice in the game.
Now we've got a little bit of pregame here before the second half. 2 minutes and 44 seconds of clock time here for the players to warm up. It allows the spectators to hit the bathroom real quick, maybe get some concessions, and come back. You always hear the expression, oh, if I were a fly on the wall of the locker room. Well, I was a fly on the wall in the locker room. Went to the locker room at halftime, to go to the bathroom, and I was listening to Coach Darling, the defensive coordinator, and he was charging his troops and he was very specific with what he wanted to happen. He was very happy with the play at defensive end. He said, they can't hang with you on the defensive line. He's like, we need to tighten it up. We need to wrap on tackles. We need to be focused. And he would check with them. Is that clear? Are there any questions? Does that make sense? Right? Yep. So his instructions were very focused. Yep. So it's interesting to see how that unit is run. The coaching staff under Pat Nugent, offensive line Mark Fontana, the defensive line under Steve Schween, the cornerbacks under the defensive wizard, the whiz kid, Jeff Bolnow, just 25 years old, who's in charge of the corners. The safeties there, I think under Coach Vinny Mesquite. So everybody that's on that coaching staff is very focused on their job or their task at hand. And it was nice to see some of those kids, just try to slip through, but I had to go through the locker room, hit some kids on the shoulder pads. Hey, let's go, keep it up, go for it, you guys, we believe in you. Just a little bit of encouragement, my only 2 cents I could throw to them. But it was interesting to see the message there. Yep. The Cats, they're not happy with the results. They're down on the scoreboard, and they're trying to figure out a way to turn things around here in the second half. And
it's funny because, their halftime, we saw a poster that said 99 problems, but Cienega ain't one. Very creative with how to hype up the crowd, and that's what you want to see from Marana, because going into that with a 2-point lead, although it's a small lead, it was a huge turning point in the half for Marana. And as you can see also, we have the cheer squad from Marana doing something at center field, and just a great performance. Majestic, beautiful, everything that you expect from a cheer squad, and their band out there playing. And, Marana is just an amazing school, and, we're just happy to be here.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see the student section here. They were booing Cienega as they ran onto the field. They had to come from this side of the grandstand through the tunnel to go to the field, and they were serenaded with boos. I saw Trey White with his right hand telling them to keep on talking. So you like to have chips on the shoulders here. Mm-hmm. I like the good-natured enthusiasm and cheering and jeering on both sides. So now the Bobcats here will kick off. So it's what we thought it was in the first half. Cienega received in the first half. Now Marana here, and they are feeling it. They are certainly energized here as House of Pain, that classic anthem. Tion Simmons at the goal line, set to return, along with Jesus Valenzuela. And for the Cats, it's their kicker, Ezra Figueroa. Bobcats kicking from right to left, and the Tigers are returning from left to right. A lot of energy here. This game has exceeded the expectations coming into it tonight.
And like you said, booing from the crowd here at Cienega, it's almost as if they set up the locker room strategically so that way they could boo them, give them that extra momentum boost and confidence. And, Cienega is very confident in themselves, and they know how to, win a football game, and I doubt that fazed them at all. Kickoff.
Well, Tion Simmons goes left side now. Hits the edge, out across the 30 to the 35, and there's a flag down at the 15.
Again, you can just see the energy bursting, the confidence. Again, we did not expect to see such an amazing run game by Marana.
Right.
And, performing is, something that, again, like we said, their head coach leading them to the playoffs last year, 16 years and stuff.
Andy Litton, the head coach.
Yep, and that's huge. Because, you want to see that in a coach, being able to bring your boys together and create a great football program, and almost as if it's a rebirth of a program.
It is. It's definitely a renaissance here at Marana. I was looking over my back shoulder here, and I'm not going to do that again. We're probably about 70 feet up here, and they've got beautiful tennis courts, and the stadium there, baseball behind us and softball. The locker rooms behind us. The fields, of course, to the front of us here. And now Marana is pinned back at their 7 after that penalty on the return. So a very costly penalty here, and maybe an opportunity for the Bobcats to generate a turnover, or at least have a stop on defense. Bourget at his own 2-yard line in the pistol. Hands off to the left. And a run of about 2 yards on the play by Zach Roberts.
And you never want to be so far back into your own end zone because that can affect you and the team, because if a safety happens, that's 2 points plus the ball. So automatically, if Cienega was able to do that, they would be tied and they have the ball, which would be huge for Cienega. But Marana, I mean, they have a great offense. I wouldn't doubt it if they would be able to break free, but the defense at Cienega is amazing, so, they won't let him have it easy.
Great second effort there by Zach Roberts. So on back-to-back carries, and he picks up 6. It'll set up a 3rd and short, too. It is interesting because when you're pinned that deep, it certainly affects your play calling. You've got to be a little bit more conservative. You're going to be less likely to pass the ball that close to your own end zone for fear of a pick 6.
Yes, and the big part about throwing the football in such a big, in your own end zone, you never want to give the ball away because it gives them an opportunity to be even closer, and you can't even punt the ball to give them distance. And a big part about being in the end zone is the run game, which Marana has done spectacular at. And them doing that will be able to get them out of that hole.
Well, Zach Roberts now on 8 yards on the 3rd down to pick up the 1st down here. A pitch now coming near side to Zach. Roberts lowers his shoulder, switches hands on the football, and is tussled out of bounds there after a gain of 6 on the play. So Terrell Huggins on the tackle. So Zach Roberts here is turning into the workhorse running back here for the Tigers. And they're also spelling in Jesus Valenzuela, so they have a bit of a tandem going there in that backfield, and they've both been effective runners here tonight. 2nd down and 5. Man in motion is Tion Simmons, who's been electrifying tonight. Play action. Bourget rolls and spins out now. Oh, wide open pass. And there it is to Rene Valenzuela. Cuts across at the 30. He's got a blocker now. Down to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown.
And you want to believe that stuff like this wouldn't happen so early in this half, but stuff like this will happen because, like I said, a team that loses the lead has to come back and bounce back from a tremendous mental breakdown such as that. And that is a huge reason why Marana came out with intensity and ready to score.
And there's an injured Bobcat on the field after that long reception.
We can't see who that player is.
I want to say that he was back, and I think that he might have rolled his ankle because he went from a vertical angle to a horizontal angle.
I think it's cramps, right? So you see Kyle Bowen out there. The injured cat is Terrell Huggins. Huggins pops up here when you see a player getting stretched like that. So Terrell is on his back, and actually it's 28 who is the injured player, or 26? 29, maybe Alex Johnson. It's hard to see here. We'll try to get clarification. You guys have an updated roster. Is there a 28 on that roster?
There is not a 28. It was probably Alex Johnson.
Okay, so the injured cat is walking off under his own power, which is good. But again, I think it was a cramp. Early in the season, you'll see cramps very often. The players aren't used to the intensity of a full game. And then you have factors like the heat here. It is a little bit of a withering heat that we're experiencing here in Marana. So here's the extra point attempt, and that one is good. So Jaime Avila on the extra point. Rene Valenzuela, 66 yards on the touchdown reception. It was a catch and run, an electrifying one here. And now the lead is extended to 9 points. So the Tigers up 26-17 with 10:23 on the clock here from Tiger Stadium.
You got to wonder how Cienega will be able to pop back from such a big deficit already leading into the second half. Jacob, what are your thoughts about that?
I think the Cienega defense, Darlene has to tell them they need to close in as a group now to get whoever has the ball and tackle him.
Would you say that the coaches went over this kind of stuff in the locker room?
They probably did, because we saw in the first half these long runs, long throws, and it's why they're down on the scoreboard now, down 9 with 10:23 to go in the third.
Might be some over pursuing by the tacklers and some missed tacklers, right? So some missed tackles, some arm tackles. Those things have to be tightened up here. Now Marana is feeling it, right? They have upset on their mind. Nobody's picking them to win here tonight. People thought that they would be in the game and that they would have a resilient effort, but they're now up 9 points here. The later it goes, and the more that they're in this, and certainly with a lead, the more that they believe they can win this ball game here tonight. The Cats have a lot going against them here as Rodney Rogers returns from his own 10. Rodney across the 40 to the 50, showing off the speed, and he wipes out at the 31-yard line on a bit of a slide, but it was a great return there from Rodney, a track star and a sprinter and a speedster.
And you want to believe that Cienega will be able to bounce back from this. I honestly have to give credit to Marana because I was expecting a 14-point deficit, and I clearly was wrong. I got to give credit to the coaching staff at Marana and, you know, all the players and what they put in to, you know, get this good lead heading into the second.
You can't underestimate the value of having one game under their belt, and not just a game, but a very closely contested game.
Yes.
With a lead late in the game against formidable Ironwood Ridge, a powerhouse in the same part of town under their great coach, Matt Johnson. So they have some seasoning here going into week 2, and they're clicking. Thomas Webb Jr. goes far side, and he slashes his way through inside the 20 to the 15. So a gain of 14 on the carry, maybe 12 actually when it's all said and done. He stepped out of bounds there, and it's close to a first down.
Pushed out of bounds by number 2, Tegan Simmons for the touchdown.
Jacob, do you think that they'll be capable of scoring within the next 5 plays?
I do. We saw Thomas Webb there. He's powerful. He's got a lot of mass on him, and he can plow through, but I think that they're going to take this lead to heart in the third quarter with a screen pass to Terrell Hayward. And on third down, at least we're going to see Ezra Figueroa out.
Yeah, so 3 yards there on the catch by Hayward on the screen to the near side. The tackle was by Zach Roberts, who has been featured on the offensive side of the football, running the football. And a nice open field tackle there by Zach Roberts. So a first down here to move the chains. The Cats have 1st and 10 from the 19 of Marana. But I agree. I think that Thomas Webb Jr. at 5'11", 200 pounds, a low center of gravity, very quick, some deft moves, very agile for somebody with that kind of mass.
Mm-hmm. And I played with him freshman year, and
there goes Jamari far side. He points his way into the end zone for a touchdown.
And as you can see, he just walked in there. As
He's strutting. He's strutting across the way. Look at that. So I think it's for excessive celebration.
Yeah.
So 19 on the touchdown from Jamari, who exuberantly, after he scored. So he was bottled up a little bit on the far hash, and there were some tacklers that were there. He spun. He's so good at spinning to the outside. So he spun, he pointed, he's directing traffic, and on that far sideline, he sprinted down. It was easy for him to go in for a touchdown. We'll see what the penalty is.
Yeah, and
Unsportsmanlike contact against Jamari Joyner.
Yeah, and you know what? That's all about, you know, showing that, you know, you're confident in your team, and, you know, I think it's just a way to rile up his team, and I think that's what Jamari was going for. Jacob?
Yeah, you could see right after that touchdown, Pat Nugent goes right up to Jamari Joyner with his hands up, like, why did you do that? And it's unnecessary celebration after that.
Again, the fan in me says I love that. The sportsman in me understands that you don't want to show somebody up, but like, look, the kid's enthusiastic. Low snap here, and the extra point converted. So a nice job of staying with it by Ezra Figueroa. Well, now it's a 2-point deficit. The Tigers up on top, 26-24, after Jamari Joyner's electrifying run, 19 yards on the touchdown, and now we're right back into this ball game.
And it's funny because not a lot of people understand how important it is to have a great kicker.
Oh, yeah.
And Ezra has definitely shown that coming in for an injured kicker, that he has shown that he is able to score for Cienega, and that has came up huge.
Well, back and forth. And I don't know what the line on this game was, but we were expecting it to be a close one, and I think we were expecting Cienega to be favored, even going on the road here against Marana. Well, this game is all it's been billed to be, and then some. I think this game will be better than the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight tomorrow night. I've got Floyd in a dominant performance tomorrow.
I don't know, Miller.
You have a boxer in his element against an MMA fighter who mixes boxing with wrestling. Floyd's been boxing since he was 4 years old.
But even though Floyd has been boxing like that ever since he was 4 years old, Conor McGregor is a natural talent fighting in the UFC. You know, I'm pretty positive if Floyd Mayweather went to the UFC and he was against Conor McGregor in any form or way, you know, when you come in against a veteran, the tables will be shifted at all. And you know, I have my money on McGregor. You know, I'm always up for underdogs.
I like underdogs too, but I think you're going into the lion's den in his sport. Makes it tough. Nice return here.
Big tackle.
Across to the 40 by Jesus Valenzuela. Floyd's a boxer. The match is a boxing match tomorrow. Floyd is the most precise, technical fighter in the sport today. He's the best defensive fighter, and he's the fastest fighter in boxing. But at 30, is he 39 or 40 years old?
I want to say 40. I might be wrong, but even though Floyd is an amazing strategist, at the same time, Conor McGregor is very aggressive, and you know, as we've seen from Floyd, he likes to use his opponent against himself in the end, because he did it against Pacquiao when he was avoiding him with his quickness. But with Conor McGregor, I'm pretty positive that he won't be able to.
Well, we had to talk about it, so there's a little reference to the much ballyhooed and hyped event. It's a spectacle for me first and foremost. The match that I'm looking forward to as a boxing fan is Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin coming up a month from now, I think on September 26th. Jacob, you have an event that we need to hype up as well. We'll do it right after this play. Bourget back to throw, 2nd and 10. Throws far side, stretching out and making the catch on the sideline is Diego Miranda, and it's a 7-yard catch for Diego.
Before you watch that Mayweather-McGregor fight tomorrow night, come to the Costco School event Saturday, August 26th, 7 p.m. through 9 p.m. Enjoy refreshments and learn about the surprising ways Costco can save your family money, even on flu shots. It's 1650 East Tucson Marketplace.
Big tackle right there for Cienega, but a flag is thrown. What will the call be?
Hold. So we've got a holding here. It was a flare pass to the near side to Rene Valenzuela. Diego Ruby, who has played nicely tonight, has the junior in that defensive backfield for Cienega on the tackle. So it'll be a 10-yard play, but it's declined here. And now Marana on 4th and 6 will likely punt. They're on their own 45-yard line.
And in these situations, for Marana, you know, you just got to question yourself. Do you want to risk it or do you want to go for it? You know, they're known for going for it on 4th down because they love to pass off of the first play, which is usually a run play, and then 3 consecutive pass plays.
Well, they have their kicker/punter, Jaime Avila. He's done well in both categories. He's missed a couple extra points, but he has punted nicely. And you see him here angling this one toward the near corner, down at the 10, and it rolls down to the, into the end zone. So close, the coverage team that was there, just out of the grasp of Sam Lauralusa, the senior special teamer, and he just didn't have enough, maybe a little bit too much on it. It was so close to being down at the 1-yard line.
And, you know, even though they didn't quite get it, that was an amazing kick, you know, giving his team an opportunity to possibly get them down at the 1 and making it harder for Cienega. Almost a big play.
Well, the game has been sprinkled with big plays here tonight. It's been punctuated with some big plays. Tayon Simmons, a 64-yard touchdown catch. Rene Valenzuela, a 44-yard touchdown run. Tayon Simmons before the half, a 4-yard touchdown catch, and Rene Valenzuela, a 66-yard catch and run. The Bobcats are scoring. It was Ezra Figueroa on a field goal to open things. Jamari Joyner with 2 touchdown runs. His first was 11 yards. His second was 19. And then also a touchdown catch by Diego Ruby, 18 yards.
Oh, and a catch at the 43-yard line.
Trey White at the 44.
44, Miller.
He's got 2 receptions tonight, and he's been targeted maybe 6 times here. So if he can start factoring in and latching onto the football, he'll become a nice weapon here at 6'3" for the Cats. A big target with some good speed.
And as we said early on in the game, Jamari has lost a lot of his targets, and now trying to find new chemistry with other players. Gio as a run breaks down.
Gio Owens, near side, across the 20 to the 15. And a late fumble. They're going to say the ball was down on the field.
close call for Cienega. That could have been a huge play.
44 yards on the run by Gio Owens. Well, he was a bit of a question mark coming into the game tonight. He had the strained groin, which happened, I think, during practice 4 weeks ago. So I talked to him earlier today and asked him if he was green lit to go tonight. And he said, yeah. He's like, I'll be playing. I don't know if I'm going to start, but I'm good to go. How's the groin? He's like, it's good.
And you know what, that's what you want to see is confidence. Confidence. As a football player, you need to have confidence in yourself and understand that, you know what, if you're injured, you don't want to hurt yourself more, and that's what's important.
Jamari on the quarterback draw. After a little bit of stutter stepping, he wisely runs out of bounds near side. So 2 yards on the gain. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The ball is placed at the 10.
And you just got to wonder what Jamari's going to do. As you can see, he's multi-capable. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball with, just a sniper-like accuracy. And, as good as he is, having those options is what he needs right now, and I think he's starting to find them.
We could see a couple of things. Jamari's been running, certainly in these situations. They could opt to go for some sort of fade or post-corner route, as Pat Nugent calls a timeout here, because they're not sure exactly what they want to do. They're going to mull over their options and draw up something nice.
And it's important to be able to see, what you want to do, and this is a big play right now because this can give them the lead. Shifting of momentum, like I said, it's like a tug of war between crowds right now. Momentum is on Marana's side, and they want to shift it over to Cienega. Jacob, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, they have to convert now with the big opportunity they have now to get the lead. Just do it now so that you don't have the stress of doing it later. So converting now is
exactly.
key.
And, with 7:22 on the clock, it's the third quarter, a couple of plays, a lot of Cienega's possessions have taken most of the clock off. Heading into the fourth, you don't want to be behind because then it makes it a little bit more nerve-wracking, and you don't want that.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. This is a pivotal play. 2nd and 7, 7:22 on the clock. The Tigers up on top, 26-14. The ball is at the 10. We'll see what the coaching staff from the Bobcats have drawn up here. We've got a trio, or make that 2 wide outs near side. 2 tight end set. We haven't seen that yet tonight. So 2 tight ends in there. Jamari hands off to Gio. Gio goes far side, cuts it inside, slices, and is brought down at the 5-yard line. It'll be close to a first down. 5, maybe 6 on the carry, setting up 3rd and a short 1, maybe 2.
And, that's a smart play of cutting through the defense. He saw that the outside defender was coming towards him, and he had to cut through the defense and the offense to make a big play.
Well, I have an idea where that play came from. Mark Fontana and Steve Schween, they want to do a little power football. Bring in a second tight end. We have not seen that yet here tonight. Now again, we have 2 tight ends and 2 wideouts, 1 near, 1 far. Eli Galvan on the field at fullback in motion, and we have a false start going against the Cats. So a 5-yard penalty, and now it makes it a 3rd and 7.
You just got to marvel at how, even though Marana's in a tight position, Marana's crowd is still giving them the confidence that they need to make a great defensive play. And that's what you want to see from your hometown crowd.
They're providing the emotional support here and feeding this defense on the field. The Tiger defense has to make a stand here. It's a pivotal possession. And now 3rd and 7. We'll see how the calculus changes as the ball moves back 5 yards on the false start. Cats have 2 wideouts. It's Terrell Hayward near side and Trey White far side. Jamari now trying to guide Eli Galvan onto the line. Eli comes in motion near side. Jamari back to throw. Looks corner for Trey White. And he overthrows it. Now it's 3rd and 7.
And now you got to wonder, are they going to run it? Are they going to pass it? What are your thoughts, Miller?
You want to know my thoughts?
Of course.
I want to see, I would imagine it would be Jamari in some sort of option. Oh, now it's 4th down, so my bad. So 3rd down, incomplete. Now it's 4th down. There's no option here. You bring your kicker on for the field goal, and Ezra Figueroa will come out here, and this will be a maybe a 30-yard attempt here. Let's see where the ball is placed and where the
And
the
you know,
holder
his
spotted.
kicks almost seem like catapults from medieval times with such accuracy going into that targeting. And Ezra is just an amazing kicker. You got to give him, you know, full hands because he is doing incredible for a replacement for an injured kicker.
27 yards. Takes a deep breath. The kick is up. And it is good.
And it is good.
Wow, that's a pressure kick.
That is a pressure kick, but you know what? Even though Ezra seemed a little bit nervous today, you can tell that he shocked himself back into order and he knows what he needs to do. Jacob, what do you think?
His confidence is going to go sky high. We're going to see him in these next games. I haven't seen him miss, and he's a real good replacement.
He is. Honestly, they might even consider putting him as a starter or even sharing the time with the injured kicker when he returns, and that'll be big for Ezra coming up into his senior year.
Yeah, I think Ezra's the guy. I think that, unfortunately, Austin Del Rio has a season-ending fracture to the leg. So, look, Ezra Figueroa has been marvelous tonight, and I can't comment enough about those shoes. So they're fluorescent pink or neon red, however you want to fashion them or style them. But he's been beautiful here tonight on extra points and field goals. Now 33 yards. That was 27, but the pressure was magnified on that kick. And I just like seeing him take that deep breath in to calm down and go through his steps. Try to make it as routine as you can. You want to make everything routine as a kicker.
And, you know, as you can see, Cienega's band is now riling them up.
Yes.
And, Miller, what would you say about how a band is huge for a team?
I think they're the second most important element in a football game.
I would have to agree. In college, you see it a lot of the time where the band comes out on the field, riles up the crowd, shows them an amazing performance, and just makes them, you know, the team, you know, just combine into a beautiful thing.
And I'll kind of clarify that a little bit. The players certainly and the coaching staff, like, that's the key ingredient. So
yes.
To have a football game, you have to have that. Mm-hmm. Of course, the fans are huge, but the band is an instrumental part. They are always with these student athletes, and they're always trying to amplify the enthusiasm in the stands. To me, the band is the second most important aspect in the game.
Would you say they're, like you would say, a sprinkle of, you know, love and encouragement?
Yes, I would. As a matter of fact, yes. They're there to amplify things, and they're there to help energize the crowd.
Yes.
And then I would say the cheerleaders are certainly important, and Michelle Jackson and her daughters, the Kennedy girls, and Vanessa Romeo, they do such a great job with this cheer staff, right? They're not just cheerleaders now, they're gymnasts, they are acrobats who are doing amazing things.
I don't feel that cheerleaders get as much credit as they deserve because, you know what, it is a sport and you require a lot of athleticism. And it's funny that you say about Vanessa Romeo because I have her for Spanish and she is an incredible teacher.
I believe that.
And, you know, an amazing person. Definitely knows what she's doing and, you know, has full confidence, and she believes in Cienega in every facet. If it comes to, you know, dealing with student council, if it comes to dealing with the cheerleaders and her students, she's just an amazing person all around.
I agree. And you talk about Cienega as a family, which I love to hear, and I agree with you. There are a lot of people on that staff at Cienega, from the janitorial staff all the way to the administrators, and everyone is bought into the mission of Cienega. We want to provide the best education that we can and the greatest chance for potential success in the entire student body population. So it starts at the top with Niemer Hasse and Kelly Haddon and Dean Norris and Kim Middleton, Whitney Holland, the athletic director. It filters down to, I'm telling you, the janitors on that campus, Polly in the 500 building, Martha in the 700 building, and everybody else. They really care about the students.
A huge run for Marana right now, being stopped at the 40.
So
in
it's
the Cienega end zone.
Sorry, it's 24 yards there, McVeigh, on the catch by Diego Miranda. Mm-hmm. So I've been waxing poetic here about the school and what it does. It's easy to be enthusiastic about all the great things that are happening at CHS. Marana now is driving. They're at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Handoff goes there to Roberts, and he'll pick up maybe 2. Does Zach.
And Jacob, what do you think about the defense? How do you think the defense of Cienega is handling Marana in the run game as well as their catching game?
Run game, I just think they're trying to get the big hit, and they're coming up short on some of them and not wrapping it around. I think they just need to conservatively tackle the ball carrier and stop trying to get the big hit.
Yes, I agree 1,000% with you.
2nd and 10. Bourget, play action. Down the middle. Connects with Diego, and he goes down to the 11-yard line. Diego Miranda on the catch, and a gain of 31.
And you just got to wonder, being in the third quarter with 5 minutes left, how would a touchdown affect the Cienega Bobcats going into the fourth and even continuing the third quarter? What do you think, Miller?
It puts more pressure on them. It adds an exponential amount of pressure on the defense. It puts more pressure on the coaching staff, and it filters down to the players on the field that are executing the game plan.
I would have to agree.
1st and 10 from the 12-yard line for the Tigers. Handoff goes to Zach Roberts to the left side. No gain on the play, stacked up by that Bobcat defensive front. Carter Clark and Zach Mattis on the tackle there.
And looking at Danny Mendez curling around the defense, and the offense, and just trying to make a play for Cienega. And that's big because it puts pressure on the offense. And you know what? A breakdown like that will be huge in stopping Marana.
2nd down and 11, a loss of 1. Play action. Bourget rolls to the right, throws out of the
pass.
Yep, it was intended for Diego Miranda, who's been hot here in the second half. Bourget is the classic high school passer. He's gritty, he's gutty, he's got wheels and an accurate arm, and he's fearless. Those are the combinations and the elements you want to see in your quarterback, your field general. It's now 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, his brother is also on this team, number 4 quarterback, a freshman, and we'll most likely see him lead this team at quarterback when Trenton leaves.
Trenton is the capital of New Jersey. You guys probably knew that, right? You learned all your capitals like in 5th grade? No?
Nah.
I'm getting a grimace there from Jacob, and McVeigh with a nod of the head, a slight nod of the head. 3rd down. The ball is tipped at the line, and good pressure there from Zach Mattis.
And that's what you want to see from your defense, putting pressure on the quarterback, because even in college, NFL, pressure on the quarterback, no matter how good the quarterback is, will affect the pass or the play, period.
So it's now 4th and 11, and now the Tigers will counter with their kicker, Jaime Avila.
And I got to say, I don't blame that quarterback for throwing that ball. Getting hit by Zach probably hurts.
Jaime, number 83, the junior. He also has some fluorescent, those are the laces there on the white cleats of Jaime Avila. Snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good.
I got to say, you have impeccable vision, and you keep staring at their shoes. I'm wondering, is that your focus?
I'm not going to lie, I like soccer cleats. My son, Adriel, who's 6, he has quite an assortment of fluorescent cleats. His grandmother, my mom, buys them for him. And the kid's decked out. He's soccer crazy. So I've always been drawn to those, those alluring cleats that these athletes have. Robert Griffith was also a great kicker at Cienega, and he had red shoes. Robert Griffith and his red shoes. Since that time, I've always kind of noticed when a lot of these kickers play soccer, right? So they're probably wearing their soccer cleats. And that's one thing that I can say for the soccer players. There's certainly an emphasis there on fashion. So do we know how long that field goal was? Was it 22 yards, 24 yards?
Yeah, about 24.
All right, we'll call it a 24-yarder by Jaime Avila. And the Tigers, more importantly, have reclaimed the lead. They're up 29-27 with 4:11 in the third quarter. Great game here tonight from Tiger Stadium. And that ball is fielded by Hayward at the goal line, and his back foot stepped into the end zone for a touchback. So the Cats will have 1st and 10 from their own 20. A fantastic game on a Friday night.
And, like I said, it's unbelievable to see the fan support for their team on both sides. Cienega's players are already confident, but to have an amazing crowd, amazing staff supporting them just makes it even better. And Marana having a great crowd supporting them, and, students out here supporting, that's all you want to see from your school.
I agree. The student body and the parents, the band from Marana, the cheerleaders,
All the cheerleaders.
everyone here has just really been tremendous, enthusiastic, energetic, and dialed into the game. Knowledgeable fans here at Marana. So the Cats now, 1st and 10 from their own 20. Little end around here going to Terrell Hayward. Gets a nice block downfield by Dante Bodie.
Oh, almost breaking free, spinning. Oh, brought down.
Close to the 30. So forward progress might give him a first down. And indeed, that's the signal. So 10 yards on the play.
And that is big because, you know, a first down on your very first couple of plays, that's what you want, because getting as close and as quick to the touchdown is what you want. You know, you never want to be stagnant and staying back, you know, laying low and gaining minimal yards. It's more about the long yards that you gain.
I agree. The Cats here showing some wrinkles in their playbook, some diversity. Now Hayward goes in motion to the far side. Misdirection. Oh, it's a flare to Hayward. A little bit too hot there from Jamari. They were close, separated by about 6 or 7 yards. Jamari was rolling to the right. Terrell was already going to the right. He had momentum on the motion, and then Jamari just a little bit too much there on that, but Hayward had some room on the far side. I like the creativity here we're seeing in the offense.
Yeah, and you know what? As offensive players, you need to have creativity because, you know, defense is getting better and better every day. They're seeing through stuff, and being creative creates troubles for defenses, causing lapses and creating even better plays.
Handoff goes left side. That is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, and that was TJ Seffers, the junior linebacker there. Gio Gonzalez on the carry. We've seen flashes of Gio's potential tonight in that electrifying speed. The Cats are trying to, I like the idea, they're trying to get the ball in their playmakers' hands out in space. You hear coaches talk about that, and commentators on NFL and college broadcasts talk about that all the time. Both teams are trying to do exactly that. 3rd and 10 now. 2 wide outs near side, 2 wide outs far side. Jamari back to throw. Pumps, fires down the middle, and it's overthrown.
And, you know, a big part of Jamari's game is the passing game, and, you know, to find chemistry with players and find options that are always available for you and trust is important for a quarterback and his wide receivers, and that is the chemistry that needs to be improved, and I'm pretty positive that over the course of the season that will become better and better heading into playoffs.
I agree. It was Terrell Huggins, the intended target on a deep post, but shadowing him was Tion Simmons. We talked about him from an offensive perspective, but he has been dynamite on the defensive end at corner, going both ways here tonight as well. So a two-way player and a star here for Marana, who has been electrifying with 2 big touchdown catches. Jamari now on the punt, sky high.
Again, we said about,
And caught there by Tion Simmons near side out of bounds. He's feeling it. So just one more play for him to show off his athleticism and those great hands that he possesses.
And, you know, it's funny about Jamari. I feel as if he's like a Cam Newton. Cam Newton can throw the ball, and at the same time he can run. Would you say that, Jacob?
I would. They play very similar.
They do.
They do.
Both got the height, and they both dual threats. They play the same.
Good size too. Jamari is he's a big package to handle at the high school level.
And he is, and you know what? Some people don't understand that, you know, height is a big part of football, even if it doesn't seem like it from a perspective point. You know, when you look at it, if the player is taller, he can see, as a quarterback, more of the field. He understands what he needs to do, and that is why Jamari is a top-tier quarterback.
He is top tier, 6'2", 205. Bourget down the middle overthrows his target.
Intercepted.
Almost. Hands. Nearly poached there by Devin Garrett.
And you can see the frustration in that, as if he wanted that one to catch.
Yeah, it would be huge.
It would be.
Because back at your own 40, which is where he made contact, you had a receiver that was sprinting down the center, Jesus Valenzuela. The ball was slightly overthrown, and there reading it all the way was Devin Garrett. It's not just a pick. He would have room to go either way on potentially a big return.
Almost a tackle.
Almost a tackle in the backfield, and it ends up being a loss of 3. The Bobcat defense here is starting to stand up.
Yeah, and that was Isaac Beltran there on the tackle. We haven't seen from the defensive line many tackles from them. It's mostly been secondary and the linebackers.
Spidey, Spider-Man. Isaac Beltran's nickname going back to elementary school.
And it's funny, I didn't see which player it was that slashed through, but almost latched onto him.
Wow, what a fortuitous catch there. Tion Simmons. The pass was not pretty from Trenton Bourget, but it was effective. 12 yards on the catch and a first down. It was a bit of a quail, a wounded quail, or a duck kind of fluttering through the air.
And Rodney Rogers is down right now. Doesn't look good.
Near side here at the 40-yard line.
And you know what? You never want to see a player get injured. You know, injuries, you know, as an athlete, injuries are the worst because they affect you in the long term.
Okay, so he's sitting up, so that's encouraging. Kyle Bowen's there attending to him, the great trainer from Cienega. Did you see what happened? Was it a collision or?
I think he hurt his foot or his leg. Something seemed, I think they just got a little bit entangled up, and it might have affected him in some way.
Well, Rodney's being attended to, and Tion Simmons, who is shown in many aspects of this game tonight. Rodney Rogers, if I can breathe now, I can exhale. He's standing up and walking across on his own accord, and he looks to be just fine. Kyle Bowen is talking to him, so that's encouraging.
It is, and you know what? You never want to see a player get hurt, and you know, for Rodney being such a fast and a brisk runner, you know, you want to be able to see, you know, no leg injuries for him because he depends on his run game, and an injury can, you know, just plague you throughout your entire life, even a fracture, because it affects you and you need to bounce back from that injury.
Well, he makes his living on those legs.
He does, and that's why it's important.
He's a speed guy. He's got excellent instincts at the corner position, but his wheels are what makes him special. Run up the middle.
No gain.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. The Tigers had the ball on the Bobcat 45-yard line. The Tigers are also clinging to a 2-point lead, 29-27, with 1:40 on the clock.
You can tell they're not really trying so hard to get a touchdown as much as to hold on to the lead because they're not making any big, like, see, rushed right there.
Well, there it is. A big post play and a touchdown. Tion Simmons, 45 yards on the post, and he was wide open.
And this proves troublesome for Cienega because now it is almost a 10-point lead with 8-point gap now that Cienega has to return from, which is above a touchdown. So maybe a touchdown and a kick, you know, extra point plus another kick to get ahead. And you know what? You never want to be put in that situation heading into the fourth quarter.
Well, you were talking about not making big plays, but I think that's what's been effective tonight here is the change of pace from Marana. They've been kind of lulling that defense to sleep and then popping big plays unexpectedly. That was a 45-yard touchdown catch for Tion Simmons, who has a hat trick tonight. Extra point is up, and it is good.
And, you know, it's amazing as kickers how they just hone their skills from freshman year, and even natural talents that are soccer players who can just score a goal from, you know, large distances. And, you know, you got to give credit to the kickers tonight, Ezra and Marana's kicker. I don't quite know his name. Miller, would you like to inform me?
Jaime Avila.
Jaime Avila. You know, just great job. You know, I wonder how Cienega will be able to bounce back. Jacob, what do you think?
Tion Simmons was the star of that drive right there. We saw that catch near the sideline. Wasn't a great throw from Bourget, but he managed to catch it, and then there, that long reception from him. Key, like you said, hat trick. Key captain, key players to this Marana.
And Miller, what would you say would need to happen for Cienega to get back in the game within the next couple 5 minutes, would you say? Well, not including this 126.
Okay, really quickly to finish the Tion Simmons experience here. 3 touchdown catches, okay, 64 yards, 4 yards right before halftime. That was a huge play, and that one, 45 yards. Those are just 3 of the many catches he's made, but 3 touchdowns. For the Bobcats, psychologically, they've got to be resilient here and try to do what they do best. Of course, they need to score quickly, as Terrell Hayward is making a nice return back here.
And this is where I see that Cienega is coming up big, is on the kick return. You know, there's nothing more better than having a great kick return to get more than halfway through the field, which is going to make sure that they don't have to deal with gaining those extra yards and getting into that end zone.
We have seen that tonight from Terrell Hayward. He brought the ball across the 50. The ball is at the 47-yard line of Marana. 1:19 on the clock. So the Cats here, I mean, it sounds a little oversimplistic, but the Bobcats have to score, and then they need to get a stop. Like, that's what they have to do to get back in this game.
You can definitely tell that they're probably going to do a lot of pass plays, maybe a couple run plays, but mainly depend on the pass.
And I think the important thing is here to not waver in their confidence. They have to believe in themselves here, that they have the talent, they have the ability to come back and win this ball game. But psychologically,
cutting through, slashing, brought down.
2-yard loss there by Terrell Hayward near side.
And that's one thing you don't have to worry about Cienega. They have an immense amount of confidence in themselves. They are trained to believe in themselves, and the coaching staff believes. And there's nothing better than having a family behind you that is going to make sure that you feel confident.
Yeah, and then the coach, you know, any coaches that are out there watching, listening, or certainly the coaches on both staffs here, it comes down to execution, right? You always hear coaches talk about executing and making plays. Somebody's got to make a play. Somebody has to make a tackle, right? It goes for both teams here. 2nd down and 10 for the Cats. 2 wideouts near side and 2 to the far side. Jamari back to throw. Rolls a little bit to his right, now cuts it up to run. He shakes one tackler, gets a nice block there by Stephen Harshman, and he skips out of bounds after a gain of 10 yards. It was close there to a block in the back by Harshman, but I think he just got those shoulder pads squared on the front of the defender's shoulder pads.
And as you can see, as a quarterback, like you said earlier in the game, Jacob Miller, you want to avoid as a quarterback getting injured, and that's why he runs out of bounds to avoid that unnecessary contact for yards that they can get from other players that are more resilient with contact.
I agree. And McVeigh, your vocabulary is impressing me tonight. I'll say that. It's 36-27, the Tigers of Marana on top. The Bobcats have the ball at the Tiger 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Handoff goes to the right side, and it's a gain of 5, maybe 6 on the play. Nice. So Mason Porras, one of our Bobcat TV reporters, is showing me a tweet here from Terrell Hayward, and the tweet says, "This one tonight is for my mama," with a heart, and it was posted at tweeted at 1:28.
And you know what? Moms, parents, they're a huge part of what makes us as people. My mom, you know, a single parent raising me, you know, she works hard every single day to support me and make sure that I work hard. And, you know, she has a lot of high hopes for me. And, you know, I love my mom, and I'm pretty positive most of us love our mom, I hope.
Yes.
And, you know, they're a huge part of our lives.
Yeah, they're the key. The mothers.
The mothers are the key.
The fathers, too.
Especially for boys.
But the moms are the key. Absolutely. Go ahead, Jacob.
Parents are key to developing, especially an athlete. They have to be with them after games while they're injured. They've developed them since they were young, and that parents are the main reason why an athlete is the way they are.
And, you know, like I said, you know, for a parent to trust in their kid and support them is huge. My mom supports me when I go on road trips for my club team, and, you know, that's what's important, is that trust, and I feel confident because I know that she's supporting me. And, you know, I'm pretty positive that Terrell feels the same way.
Yes. I think we need more of that idea, more of that sentiment out there in divisive political times in 2017. We need more of those kind of values, I think, to bring people together, and we should really be unifying people, not dividing people, right? So it's important to know the mothers are the foundational element here.
And, you know, some people stereotype the fact that, you know, you should not have a parent that cares, or people that aren't in your life to make it as a pro athlete, which a lot of them do, but, you know, you need a mom, and it's great to have one. Any parent, period.
Jamari rolls,
scrambling,
comes back, under pressure, rolls to his right, flicks to the right. There's Terrell Hayward.
Big pass.
Great pass there to Terrell. He hurdles down to the 5-yard line.
Big play by Terrell. curling around the defense, avoiding at all costs, and making a big pass downfield to Terrell. That is huge coming into this game.
33 yards on the pass. It was Jamari Joyner buying all sorts of time there, patiently exploring all of his options, going through his reads from left to right, and then he found Terrell Hayward, who found a nook of space on the near side. Great catch and run. The Cats now back in business inside the 10. The ball is at the 5. First and goal from the 5-yard line, and now whistles here.
A little bit of aggressiveness from the line, attacking. You know, you got to wonder what kind of tension is down there, because there is a lot of tension in this game, being so close. And you know what? A lot of trash talk is necessary in football, as it is in any sport. Basketball, hockey, baseball, whatever sport you can think of, it is in all of them.
Battle down on the front lines in the trenches, and maybe a little bit too enthusiastic to get that surge. Handoff goes.
Hard tackle right there, and you got to believe that the aggression is going to go up because of that aggressive play that just happened a play ago. And you know, you just got to wonder how they're going to bounce back and how they're going to brush off that kind of aggressiveness. And you know, you don't want to get thrown out of the game for something as stupid as that.
Let me mention the line quickly. Carter Clark at left tackle, Dante Bodie at left guard, Daniel Hernandez at center, Zach Mattis at right guard, Darian Torres at right tackle. Second down and goal from the 7. Jamari, quarterback
breaking
keeper,
through as a touchdown, which is bringing the Cienega Bobcats closer to coming back into the game and taking the lead. That is their goal leading into the fourth quarter, and now only down by 3 points. Hopefully Ezra will be able to resurrect another point and give it to Cienega.
Yeah, Jamari, he doesn't try to go around the defense. He tries to find holes inside the line and breaks through, uses his speed, and gets, and for that one, he got into the end zone.
And you know what? Some people don't understand the importance of being a smart quarterback. In any sport, if you are a smart player, smart strategies will sometimes outbeat the skills. And that is what you need, and that is what we have in Jamari.
Ezra Figueroa, superlative tonight, converts another extra point. Well, it's back and forth, certainly. The Tigers up on top, 36-34, in a majestic game here tonight from Tiger Stadium.
And you wonder if this kind of plays will make the crowd, the players, any more flustered than they already are because of the breakdowns.
I'll tell you, we have a boxing match tomorrow in name, certainly. The anticipation should hopefully be one of a boxing match, a prize fight. This has that kind of a feel here tonight.
It does.
Both teams taking haymakers and big shots at each other. Both teams being resilient, taking it on the chin and bouncing back to fire their own knockout punch or their counter punch here.
And you know, you just got to wonder what play will lead to the knockout punch. An uppercut, whatever it may be, it could lead to the finishing of this game. That is all it takes for one team to take the lead and lead off with the game. One more touchdown could decide the game. Miller, who do you think is going to score?
You get the feeling that the team with the ball last might be the team that wins the game here tonight. Here's a delayed return. Oh my goodness.
Scrambling around, trying to tackle him. You know, amazing running by Marana. You know, you just got to be impressed with how they turned it around and said, you know what, we're not going to be that throwing team. We're going to be a running team today, and we're going to be multi-compatible with anything you throw at us.
Tion Simmons on the return to the 42-yard line. Tion Simmons has been huge tonight. His counterpart for Cienega has been Jamari Joyner. Both players here tonight have exemplified greatness. Herculean efforts from both players individually here tonight, doing everything they can to carry their teams on their backs. First and 10 from the 42-yard line. 10:45 on the clock. The Tigers on top, 36-34. A shootout here tonight.
And as you can see, he wants to pass, but now cutting through, breaking free, sliding in, just trying to get that yards. He doesn't want to get hurt because, as you can see, number 51 is coming at him with a lot of steam. And you know what? Quarterbacks don't want to get injured. That is the #1 rule. Don't let yourself have unnecessary injuries.
Trenton Bourget, 8 yards on the carry. He's mixed in the run, a little bit here, a little bit there, mostly scrambling to buy time to throw.
a hard tackle right there. You can see that he was trying to fend off somebody and just got tackled and meshed in with the lineman.
There's a cat down. It looks like it's Dante Bodie, number 52, down. So an injured cat. I do like the public address announcer here tonight. He's been enthusiastic, but also accurate. Reminds me of our own Tim Nickel, or excuse me, Mr. Nichols, right? Who does a great job as our public address announcer. Enthusiastic always, and accurate and energizing the crowd. I don't know, and there was so much hype and anticipation about this this eclipse, this solar eclipse that we had on Monday. We're seeing something here, and it's not an eclipse, but it's also interesting to look at, and it's visually stunning.
And it's funny because you don't always see the moon at an angle where it's facing towards, going towards the left side. You usually see it at the right side the left side going to the right. It's really miraculous. But again, this is such a beautiful area to be in, where the broadcasting, the pictures, whatever you can think of, is just beautiful.
It's in front of us. It's a crescent, but an orange tinged crescent moon that we're looking at right across the way. 1st and 10 here for the Tigers from the Bobcat 48. Trenton Bourget back to throw.
You can definitely see that pass was wide open and uncovered. Cienega does not need that right now. Behind by 2 points, anything can happen and anybody can pull away at this point. Jacob, what are your thoughts?
And what happened on that play is we're covering Tion Simmons. We've seen his night, and they're probably trying to cut down on him more. So once that pass got to the receiver, they closed in on the receiver.
Diego Miranda on the catch. Now here's a broken tackle and a nice run of 11 for Zach Roberts.
And you just got to wonder how Cienega will handle them being in such a dangerous spot right now with only 9 minutes and 47 seconds to go. A touchdown right here could really hurt them in the end, because that also makes it 2 possession plays with the extra point that they are going to need to bounce back.
For sure. And I wonder if fatigue's a factor here for this Bobcat defense.
A lot of their key players, a lot of fatigue because they do play offense and they do play defense. And you know what? Over time, that will wear down your players. And I think Marana is taking advantage of that.
Trenton Bourget sprinkling in the run.
Sprinkling?
Unpredictable. And I thought he got more than this, but he's getting 3 now. So an unanticipated wrinkle here. Just a little dash of a run. Enough to keep the defense honest here against him. But he's a pass-first guy, and he's looking for opportunity where he can find it. 2nd down and 7. Handoff goes to Roberts on the right side. He picks up 7, maybe 8, and a 1st down here for Zach Roberts.
It's amazing how they can sprinkle in, some running and some passing.
Yes.
The sprinkling here is amazing.
It is. A dash here. A dash here. A pinch there. Just unpredictable to keep the defense honest. And again, we thought that they would be pass. It hasn't been that. It's been run, and then the pass here and there for big plays.
But I got a feeling that, this game will define the run game for Marana and make them a more unpredictable opponent coming into the future.
Hard to game plan against. And
Very hard.
It's the opening game for Cienega, but I really think that this game could set the entire tenor and tempo and what we can look for here. It could set the tone for the entire season. I know it's their first game, but it feels like it's significant. Bourget rolls near side. Nice tackle there. I think it was
Dylan Hoos.
Dylan Hoos, yes, the senior safety stepping up for the tackle.
And you know what, like we said, it's very hard to prepare now for Marana, seeing this from them. But at the same time, Cienega has an amazing staff that is dedicated to viewing film and figuring out how to deal with opponents. I'm pretty positive that they will bounce back from this, win or lose, and be more prepared in the future for any team that they come up against.
Well, everything is up for grabs right now. It's 3rd down and 6. This is a huge 3rd down play for the Tigers. Bourget under pressure, Throws the ball in the end zone for a touchdown. He just timed it. It was Diego Miranda just running a fly. It was a short fly pattern and 15 yards on the touchdown catch. The Bobcats went blitz. It was Dylan Hoos applying pressure, but Bourget just very calmly weathering the pressure, lofting the ball, and a great route there and catch by Diego Miranda for the touchdown.
And you know what? A big part right now is going to be how the defense handles this in the future, because the defense is what is having the problems right now. They're trying to figure out the run game and the passing game at the same time. Dealing with a two-headed snake is not easy to handle.
Okay, so the extra point is no good. The Tigers are up 8 points now, 42-34. And you know that's huge, because if Cienega were to score a touchdown, they could have a 2-point conversion and tie the game.
They could. Cienega is still in this game. This game is far from over. 8 minutes, 2 seconds. I have no doubt that Cienega will be able to bounce back, tighten up their defense, and make big plays. But at the same time, I feel like Marana is not done.
Yeah, I don't think either team's done. 8 minutes is a lot of time here on the clock in this football game. As back and forth, or seesaw as you can imagine, the ebbs and flows of the game, numerous, too many to recount.
And the important thing for Marana is do not let Cienega get any confidence back, because when they get confidence, they are riled up and they will win the game off of their confidence, because we are a driving force.
The Bobcats have 3 speedsters there, and it's a squib kick here, and it's fielded by Emmanuel Jimenez. Emmanuel Jimenez on the reception.
Yes, and he almost dropped that pass, but able to catch it just to make sure that he did not fumble it and possibly get it even worse field position. So, good making sure that he got the ball. That is important.
It's interesting to see how sophisticated that high school football has become. So you're seeing squib kicks here as a way to neutralize and eliminate the possibility of a big return, right? A big return would be huge for Cienega, so they're taking that out of the equation. They're making Cienega come out here, 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line, and put together some sort of sustained drive. They're making it difficult.
And football develops like life. A lot of things change. People are dedicated to their job. People want to make it better. People want to make it more competitive. And Cienega is dedicated to that. Marana is dedicated to that. Every football team out there is dedicated to becoming better and finding new strategies to evolve the game. Big pass right here. Caught by Terrell.
Terrell Hayward at the 30. Gets a block there late. Across the 20.
Huge,
10-5.
Touchdown.
Waiting for the signal.
It is a touchdown.
Touchdown Cats.
This is huge, because now Cienega is back in it, and like I said, confidence is big for Cienega. They can just lead themselves and plow themselves back into a game.
72 yards on the touchdown catch by Terrell Hayward.
Just got to just admire the beautiful night here in Marana, and just, take advantage of viewing the scenery here as Ezra Figueroa is now on the field.
7:44 is still a lot of time on the clock.
It is, and you know what? The funny thing is this is a back and forth game. Even though a team has been leading Marana, it doesn't matter, because you know what? It's still close, and that is dangerous for both teams.
Cienega calls a timeout. So Pat Nugent is trying to draw up a play here.
And you know what the funny thing is? I bet you Marana knows that they're trying to go for it, because as a football, enthusiast, whatever you are, you have to be able to predict and understand what the other team is going to go for, and be prepared for it.
Well, yeah, the timeout was called to drop a play for a 2-point conversion. Usually don't call a timeout for an extra point kick.
You don't, but it's about the preparation. It's about making sure, because this is a big moment in the game. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, however many points can depend and create the game situation and possibly win or lose you the game.
Well, it started off slowly. I mean, there wasn't a lot of scoring early, and it seemed as if both teams were
The
struggling.
scoring is immense right now. It's the picking up of the game is almost incredible to see. You know, it's as if, you know, the climax in a story, and you know what? We haven't gone down yet at all into that falling part.
Yeah, well, they picked up the pace, that's for sure.
It is.
So now we've got, all right, so Jamari Joyner at quarterback. You have Trey White on the far side, and near side, Diego Ruby, who has a touchdown catch. Ruby goes in motion to the far side. And there's a flag down here.
You wonder who it will be called on Miller?
It's a false start against the Bobcats.
That is not good for the Bobcats. Being pushed back is dangerous because now you have to wonder if you're going to go for a field goal kick or you're going to go for it now, because now it's not just about the run. It could be a throw. You know, you're putting yourself in danger.
The ball's now spotted at the 7. It might allow them to have a little bit more space to operate here. I'm trying to be optimistic. I don't know. I don't know if the coaches feel like that, but
yes, but as a coach, you know, you have to view it in all perspectives. Right now, scrambling to figure out the play, what they're going to do.
Nate Amico is near side. Pass goes left side, touchdown. Trey White. So there's Jerry White.
And that is a big play for Cienega, tying up the game with 7:44. I have never seen anything like it. The tension is building up now, and it is incredible to see how Cienega is being rebirthed into a riled up crowd, a riled up group. Taking a breath here, Miller.
Jamari Joyner rolled out to his left. Trey White ran like a fade route to the far side, and that ball was precisely placed by Jamari Joyner. 42-42, 7:44 on the clock. This is a game.
This is a game. And you know what? You just wonder how it will end. You know, what plays, what big plays, who will be the hero of this story. You got to wonder who is going to make the big play. Jacob, any ideas?
Jamari Joyner on that drive, perfect. Real nice pass, dropped it right into the hands of Terrell Hayward for the touchdown. And that play finding Jerry White for the 2-point conversion to tie the game up.
So Marana has two big weapons, right, at receiver. They've got Tion Simmons and Diego Miranda, and then their quarterback, Trenton Bourget. So they're dangerous, and we've seen what they can do. So now we're tied at 42. Here's a return across the 30 to the 35-yard line.
I honestly got to say, number 2, Tion Simmons, has been huge for Marana. They would not be in this game if it were not for him.
No, he's been the man.
He's been the man.
Marana, no doubt about it.
You know, and you know what? You got to figure out, as Cienega, you got to view it as how are we going to stop him in all facets, running, catching, whatever it may be.
This is a gutty performance from both teams.
It is. And you know what? It's surprising to see it so close when people were expecting a blowout. I honestly got to, you know, apologize to Marana for, you know, knocking them off and not giving them enough credit.
Well, they've brought it here tonight.
They have.
42-42. Handoff near side. Nice running play there, and a gain of 8, maybe 9.
And I honestly got to say, their quarterback, number 5, has got me even thinking that he has the ball still. Incredible.
Yeah, doing a great job at those fakes.
Holding against Marana.
Holding against Marana, that will hurt them.
10 yards.
10 yards, you know what? You never want to give the ball back to your opponent, and Cienega is known for taking these moments and turning them into a win. You got to wonder how Marana will bounce back from this.
Well, it's anybody's game here. And it's a huge play for Cienega to tie the score, right? So now we're back to even. It's a brand new ball game. But we've seen that Marana has been game for the effort. Flick pass near side.
Almost intercepted by number 23, and that would be Rodney Rogers II. You know, you got to wonder if that interception happened, what position would Marana be in right now?
Yeah, and Rodney's, you know, he's looking for the pick.
He is.
He's looking pick 6. He does that. And I would say that also Diego Ruby does that. And also that Terrell Hayward does that. So those guys are always looking to have a pick six. Second down and 12.
The rushing of the quarterback has been huge.
Nice catch. Nice catch and a first down. A gain of 21 on the play by Jesus Valenzuela.
And you got to understand that right now the rushing of the quarterback is on point, but the safeties, the defensive ends for Cienega needs to get it under wraps and understand what passes are going to happen and predict them to make big plays and stop Marana.
Quick run there, and a big tackle, and maybe a fumble. And I think they're saying that the ball was down.
And Pat
But it was a
Nugent,
big catch there by Dante Bodie to neutralize that run, and a loss of 2.
Pat Nugent on the other side of the field, jumping up and down, begging to the ref that was a fumble, and Cienega would have picked that up.
And you can only appreciate the enthusiasm as a coach. Pat Nugent is an amazing person and an amazing coach, coaching his team, standing on the sideline, supporting and guiding his players.
Bobcats are bringing some pressure here now.
Pressure, running out.
Pass is incomplete. So
And that is the kind of pressure that I was talking about. If they pressure the quarterback like that, that is what they need. The defensive ends, if they can cover in the safety, it could be possible that they stop them almost automatically within the next couple plays.
Trenton Bourget, deadly, with the ball in his hands. They're down. It's third down and 14 here. You can see a semblance of, well, the Bobcats are tired, but they've got to suck it up here. Third and 13. Bourget back to throw. Rolls near side. Looks to his right.
You can see less pressure here, but they see the
Complete.
a complete
A catch
pass.
and a first down and a gain of 18.
And you know what? That is what I was talking about. The defensive ends need to get it to win this game, because if they allow them to get downfield with the pass game, we already know that Marana is notorious for their passing game, and plus the running, which makes them, like I said, a two-headed snake. What will Cienega do?
Diego Miranda on the reception and a first down. Marana, first and 10 from the 25-yard line of Cienega. Trenton Bourget, hands off near side.
Oh, a big tackle right
Big hit
there,
there.
from number 21. You could tell he was trying to send a message to Marana to let them know nothing easy is going to happen.
Stephen Harshman with a big hit. But still, it was 6 yards on the run. So now it's, well, maybe 5. Second down and 5 now.
You would only have to wonder if that would rattle Marana. Jacob, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, he's a captain. He has to send messages, and that's what he did there.
That's what you're supposed to do as a captain. Lead your team, give them the confidence that they need. This is going to be a huge play. Touchdown, miss. This will define the game's final moments.
Zach Mattis on the tackle, a gain of 1. It's third down and 4. 6 minutes on the clock here in the fourth quarter, and the score is deadlocked at 42. Trenton Bourget in the shotgun. A receiver goes far side. Bourget back to
Plenty
throw.
of time right there. He sees the open pass. Oh,
Incomplete.
almost picked off. If number 20 would have hurried, he could have possibly had an interception and turned the ball around and possibly led the team to victory with that easy pickoff, which would have ruined Marana's day.
Jesus Valenzuela was the intended target. Luis Morales from Cienega was there in coverage. There was a little bit of contact between the two of them, but the ball was errant and thrown too far.
Again, as you can see, they are feeling the tension right now.
Field goal attempt. So the ball is placed at the 19-yard line.
I wonder if they would fake this just to get it.
I don't think so. I think we're looking at a 36-yard field goal attempt by Jaime Avila. The kick is up, and it's no good. Wide left, and it was far left. So
And
a lot of
that
pressure there.
is huge for Cienega.
It is, and I think they did the right thing. I think you have to go for the field goal,
You have to.
right, at 33 or 34 yards.
Yes.
It's within his range to kick that. He just hooked it wide left.
And, you know, coming into this game, a lot of hype over, you know, Marana beating Cienega, you know, the confidence that they have had. How do you think that has made them perform today? Jacob?
They've been showing it all over the field, and that's why they're it's a tie game. We expected Cienega to.
I mean, I wasn't expecting a car with Cienega losing to be painted like that. It's almost kind of theatrical and a little bit, karma might hit them back. It's.
Well, look, we've got it's 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. The Bobcats have to be careful here because they're deep at their own end. Jamari keeps the ball.
Breaking through right now.
Across the 30 to the 36-yard line.
That is a huge play. Now he's out and trying to get away from his own end zone. That is going to be the big part. Jamari has to lead the team to the touchdown. He is the biggest part of the offense.
With the 16-yard gain, the ball is spotted.
Well, Jamari has 2 touchdowns running. He's got 2 touchdowns throwing the football, including a 2-point conversion to tie the score at 42.
Exactly.
Cats 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Terrell Hayward gets the ball in the carry, cuts it up the middle, slices across the 40, picks up
Terrell
8.
is a true athlete, breaking through, slicing through like a knife. And, you just got to wonder how he can see through all of the defensive plays that they're trying to make and trying to tackle him, how he's able to just be so crafty.
7 yards on the carry. It's 2nd down and 3. The clock now, 4:45 and counting. Near side, it's Terrell Hayward. And we have a timeout here from Marana with 4:37 on the clock.
So, Mr. Miller, what do you think will happen in these next 4 minutes and 30 seconds? This is going to be huge. These next couple of plays will define the game.
Well, I think that first of all, that Cienega will probably try to get a 1st down, right?
Yes.
So if they can pick up 2 yards, maybe 3 yards here, the ball's placed at their own 43-yard line, and then you get a 1st, and then you might think about running, or you could do a little play action and try to go for something deeper, right?
And that's what you want.
And try to surprise Marana at this point.
And, it all happens on the big plays. You got to wonder who is going to lead Cienega to victory and who will be the hero stopping them for Marana.
Whatever happens, both teams here tonight have been superb, and they deserve all the credit in the world because
they do.
They both played their hearts out tonight.
But in the end, this is like clutch time with seconds in basketball. You need to have the big play, the big shot.
Handoff left side, a gain of 4.
1st down, Cienega.
Gio Owens with the 1st down. Now 4:30 on the clock. And Marana has 2 timeouts. Cienega has 1 timeout. And the chains move forward, and then the clock will resume here. So 4:25 and counting.
And you know what? I honestly got to say, I am completely surprised by how close this game is, how tight it is, the competition that Marana is putting up for Cienega, and the same back for us.
Jamari, quarterback keeper up the middle. Across the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. It's a touchdown for Jamari Joyner.
This is the biggest play of the game right here. Can you please break it down for us, Jacob?
Yeah, you could tell right when he got through that hole, touchdown. Defenders were off to the side, off to his left, off to his right, and he's just too fast for them to enclose on him, and he gets in there for a touchdown to give Cienega a touchdown lead.
It's almost as if he was so fast he reminded me of a deer, just hearing the cracking of a piece of wood and running away as fast as possible, avoiding danger and being brisk with the way he is moving.
Well, Jamari Joyner, 50 yards on the touchdown run, and now this is a big extra point here for Ezra Figueroa.
And you know what? I have complete faith that Ezra is going to make this. He's had an amazing night scoring for them, almost scoring. How many points has he scored this entire game, would you say?
Many. I have to go and look at the numbers. The kick is up, and it is good.
You just have to honestly just thank the fact that Cienega has a backup quarterback that is as skilled as the starting quarterback. And you just got to say that if it weren't for Ezra, we wouldn't have the game that we were having because of the kicking game, we have had situations where we've come back from deficits and tied the game.
49-42, a 7-point lead. Jamari Joyner, a 50-yard touchdown run And the extra point by Ezra Figueroa, who has been flawless on extra points tonight, including 2 field goals, which are also huge. So now there's still 4:06 on the clock.
There is
plenty of time here for Marana.
There is, but this is when defense becomes the main part of the game. A stop will finish the game. And you know what? You might not be able to trust Marana because they have making a touchdown in less than a minute 30, which makes Marana a tough opponent to finish off.
It's tough.
And I did the math on your question about Ezra Figueroa. 12 points.
12 points. That is huge. Because if you think about it, they would not be in the place they are without those 12 points, competing with Marana, who has had a tremendous game off the run and the catch. Just an amazing competition between the two teams.
He's been perfect.
He has.
Ezra Figueroa has been perfect tonight on extra points and field goals.
And you just have to understand that he is a soccer player, and soccer players are known for their amazing kicking.
Well, this kick goes to the 1. And now we've got a return here across the 10 to the 30-yard line.
And I'm surprised to see that both receiving teams on the catch are so good at breaking through the defense. The runners, Terrell, which runner was that one for Marana?
Tion Simmons.
Tion Simmons. Again, Tion is having an amazing game.
Tion Simmons. So now 3:56 on the clock. It's 1st and 10 for the Tigers from their own 30-yard line. They've got time. They have 2 timeouts left.
Ball is spotted at the Marana 29-yard line. First down, Tigers.
Trenton Bourget, the junior quarterback, hands off. Comes near side, across the 30 to the 40, across to the 45 to the 50.
Big gain for Marana. They are now in the end zone of Cienega. This is dangerous because Cienega, coming off fresh from a touchdown, gaining so much yards. This is, like I said, when defense becomes the main priority for Cienega.
Rene Valenzuela with a first down. And the Tigers have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 49. Another handoff comes near side. Pushed out of bounds. A gain of 5 on the play.
Ball was handed off to number 20, Rene Valenzuela for the Tigers. Pushed out of bounds.
And it was Stephen Harshman. Credit for the tackle. 2nd down and 4. And the clock is stopped with 3:45 on the clock.
Second down.
Trenton Bourget, another handoff up the middle. Cuts near side. Fumble. We have a fumble.
A fumble. A fumble.
Ball recovered.
This is huge. This is huge.
Dante
This could finish the game.
Bodie with the fumble recovery.
You can tell the crowd, the players, the cheerleaders, everybody that is a part of Marana is feeling the pressure right now, and they have become rattled. With only 3 minutes, 38 seconds, 42-49, Cienega leading. You wonder what will happen and what Marana will do next.
Yeah, you can automatically tell by the frustration of the Marana football players as they rip off the straps from their helmets, and they were just very frustrated.
Because it turns around the game. You know, an opportunity was now wasted, and they have now given a chance for a win for Cienega. Like I said, confidence, you can't give it to Cienega. Now they have all the confidence in the world. They're honestly, breaking away.
Gio to
breaking away. Gio is now racing away.
And it's fumbled by Marana.
This is amazing. Recovering the ball, fumble after fumble. You almost have to feel like this is fate. This is absolutely amazing to see Marana recovering the ball after a fumble from themselves. You know, the confidence and the hearts are now done racing for Marana.
All Gio had to do was fall and hold on to the ball. So we've had 2 fumbles on back-to-back plays. Gio, a big running play, and he fumbled. The previous play was a big fumble recovered by Dante Bodie, and now Cienega has to be resilient here. 3:29 on the clock.
And you know what? As you can see, the cheerleaders, the band, they have not given up over there for Cienega.
From their own 25. The ball is caught at the 40. Right across the midfield. Nice catch by Jesus Valenzuela.
And you know what? This might cost Cienega the game. That fumble could hurt them because now you have rebirthed, re-given the color back into the faces of Marana from a gray to a confident color, which means that this could be dangerous. Now they're more riled up than ever, and they won't make another mistake.
3:12 on the clock. Trenton Bourget rolls near side across the 50 to the 45. Slides across the 40, a gain of 10, maybe 12.
And it was more of a being careful play right there. It wasn't about gaining the yards. It was more about being careful and still coming up with some amount of gain.
Another smart play here by Trenton Bourget. 3 minutes on the clock, 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Handoff near side. And a gain of 7 and a first down. Cats trying to strip that football away. Danny Mendez on the tackle, but a gain of 8. And the clock is running here, 2:40 and counting. Marana 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line.
The ball we spotted at the Cienega 30-yard line. 2nd down.
Handoff near side. Across the 25 to the 20. Down to the 15 and a first down.
You gotta wonder how Cienega is gonna handle this. So close to a touchdown. Marana is possibly going to have a great chance to win this game too.
We spotted at the Cienega 15-yard line.
Rene Valenzuela, the first down. It's 1st and 10 from the 15. 2:19 and counting on the clock. All kinds of time here for the Tigers.
As you can see, Cienega's players are stiff as statues, worrying about the game, trying to figure out how they're going to come up. And a huge pass.
Bourget down the middle, incomplete.
Incomplete. As you can see, Marana's fans are worrying about as if that was pass interference.
Jesus Valenzuela slightly shaken up, holding on to his left wrist. And there was some contact there from Luis Morales in coverage, but it looked clean. There was contact, yes, but it appeared to be clean. No call on the play. It's 2nd down and 10. 2:04 on the clock.
And it could be a throw, it could be a run. You don't know with Marana. Motion.
Tariq Jordan goes in motion.
Oh!
Up the middle.
Hard tackle.
Again on the tackle.
Hard tackle by number 52. That would be Dante Bowdy. And you can tell he was talking to him, saying something to make himself feel more confident about this game with only minutes left. Minute 43 seconds. This is huge. This play, this touchdown possibility will end up resolving the game.
3rd and 9. Bourget looks to throw, shakes a tackler, flicks his way across, close to the 5-yard line. It's very close for a first down.
Now this is dangerous because you know what? In the end, defense will win the game for you. It is almost like the Denver Broncos when they won their championship. It wasn't about the offense, it was about the defense.
4th down, 2 yards to go. 1:31 on the clock. A huge play here.
This is the deciding moment of the game.
Trenton Bourget hands the ball to the right. First down, inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. 1:27 on the clock, and a big first down by Zach Roberts.
And that might decide it. You know, 6 points is a touchdown. They would be at 48. And you know what? The extra point could tie the game, or going for it will win them the game. This is a big moment for the defense. You wonder how they will come up and how they will handle this.
1st and goal from the 4. Pitch goes to the right. Roberts outside. Touchdown. Zach Roberts on the touchdown run.
And life surging from the Marana crowd. You gotta wonder what will happen. 1 point deficit for Marana. How will they handle this? Will they go for it? Kick it for safety? What will they do? You don't know. That is why these are the deciding moments and why defense is huge for Cienega.
Timeout here by Marana. Jaime Avila has missed extra points. Marana might go for the win here with 1:22 on the clock.
I got a feeling they're going to go for the win.
Why not?
Because, you know, it's time, and you know what? You can't, if the coaches might not have trust in their kicker. It's hard to say that, but you know what? With so many failed attempts, he might even feel a little bit shook by the events during the game.
49-48. Cienega is clinging desperately to a 1-point lead, and Marana, the Tigers here, are drawing up a play, and I would not be surprised for them to go for 2 for the win. Why not? 1:22 on the clock. Everything at stake
Marana
here.
is getting around, looking like a platoon going into battle, trying to figure out what move to take down their opponent. We wonder how this will affect the Cienega Bobcats and if they will be able to stop them. Huge play right now in the final minute of the game.
So much pressure on this defense, so much pressure on the offense as well.
But this is why Cienega is prepared. They have an amazing defensive coach. In the last minutes, let's see how they can come up and stop Marana.
And it's very quiet here. 1:22 on the clock. Tigers down by 1, going for 2. Trenton Bourget, handoff, left side, cuts it across, and he's in there for a touchdown. Unbelievable.
A 2-point.
Zach Roberts, the 2-point conversion.
A 2-point conversion. As you can see, Cienega is slugging over to the line as if they are nervous, they are shattered, and they are wondering how to fix this terrible turn of events.
And Zach Roberts, I knew just by looking at the stats before the game, he was going to play a big role. We've seen him We've seen him on defense. We've seen tackles from him and pass deflections. And here with the touchdown and then the 2-point conversion following it.
I have to give a lot of credit to the coaches at Marana for doing an amazing job this game, but I hope that Cienega has an answer, and I hope that, you know, Cienega Bobcats can stand proud and stand tall and make a good play.
Well, it's not over.
It isn't. There's a minute, 22 seconds. Anything can happen.
1:22 on the clock. Marana here, and you have to have your hands team out there.
And you can only think that they're
for an
trying
onside
to
kick.
get, yes, an offside kick. They're trying to get the ball back and win the game, finish it off.
Or a squib, or some sort of a kickoff here to make it a difficult proposition for the Cats. Squib kick at the 30-yard line, out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Done very nicely there by Emmanuel Jimenez. Bobcats have 1st and 10.
1 minute, 20 seconds on the clock. How will Cienega answer the call of Marana?
37-yard line. They're on their own 35-yard line here.
People
With
are
1:20 on the
standing
clock.
on the Marana side.
Everyone's standing here.
Everyone is standing. They are worried, they are nervous, they feel the tension, and they are wondering how this game will end. So are we.
Well, it's time to do one more magical thing here. Jamari Joyner at quarterback.
Jamari, if anybody can win the game, it will be Jamari.
Jamari back to throw at the 30-yard line. Rolls to his left, looking to throw down the middle. Complete to Trey White at the 46-yard line, and a 1st down and a gain of 18 on the play. 1:12 on the clock.
That is big.
Very poised, finding the open space there, and Trey White with a nice route in the middle to find a seam and some space. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. 1:07 on the clock. Tick-tock.
You wonder.
Field. Jamari back to throw, drops back, looks down the field, cranks it up down the right side here for Trail Hayward. It's a joust at the 5-yard line, incomplete. Broken up nicely.
53 seconds left on the clock. You have to wonder what the Cienega coaches are planning. What are they going to do? What play are they going to design? Will Jamari lead the team to victory, or will they fail?
Andrew Smith broke up that pass play. It was a joust at the 5-yard line. And now it's 2nd and 10. 53.7 seconds on the clock. Terrell Huggins near side. Terrell Hayward in the slot. Trey White far side. Jamari back to throw. Cranks it near side. Terrell Hayward at the 35-yard line. Close to a 1st down.
46 seconds on the clock.
The clock pauses for a moment as the chains move forward on a first down. First and 10 from the 35. The clock resumes. 43 seconds and counting. Jamari spikes the football to stop the clock with 42 seconds on the clock. Second and 10.
And Mr. Miller, what do you think is going to happen? These are the last 42 seconds of an incredible game. 1 point difference. A touchdown wins the game, finishes off. What do you think?
It's Jamari Joyner, and it's what he wants to do. They have time to move the chains forward, close forward here. You can try to launch a pass and go for the whole kit and caboodle, or Jamari could run like hit on this different attempt make here. I can't speak. It's second and 10. Jamari.
A lot of tension.
Second and mid, looking to the late fold, rolling on the roll late, and there's the completion to Jerry Trey.
And they are getting closer
15.
and closer and closer. You can tell the Marana crowd is feeling it, brushing back their hair as if worrying, as if the game is lost. And you got to have confidence in your team. And Cienega is feeling it right now. You got to feel as if they are going to make a comeback and win the game.
Trey White, first and 15 on the reception. It's first and 10 from the 20-yard line. 36.5 on the clock. Jamari rolls to his throw. Looks near wise. Touchdown!
Touchdown! Cienega!
Ray Hayward very close to the goal line, and they're placing at the 1 yard line.
Oh, that is huge. Now they are only 1 yard away from a touchdown. This is amazing. You just got to give it up to Terrell to
Howard.
Gio, and to Jamari. They are the key players in this right now, and they have led the team to this point. You just got to believe and hope that they can make a big play.
Terrell Howard makes the catch onto the goal, the point void. And so it's like first and goal here, and Jamari Joynward touchdown.
Touchdown, Cienega!
Wow.
This is huge. Okay, 26 seconds on the clock. What will happen now? The Cienega crowd is moving like waves on the ocean. You just got to wonder, how will Marana answer? It is 50-55.
The jet goes here, and it's Joyner on the quarterback kipper going up the.
And it's amazing to see,
touchdown.
Mr. Miller, that people are leaving almost as if they know the outcome of the game.
Not quite yet. 26 points sit on the scoreboard here, on the clock going here. 5 is there. Here we go. They're going for 2. So why not go for it? Joyner looking to throw. Roy's to the near side. Touchdown!
Touchdown! That is huge.
It's Trey Woodward for the touchdown.
Oh my God, that was the best play of the game. I gotta admit.
Word touchdown. Unbelievable.
Okay, let's stay neutral, McVeigh.
57 to 54.
I am very neutral. I have been giving compliments to both sides, but I am a Cienega student and I am loyal. And I am jumping out of my seat.
We have 1 minute and 18 seconds left here on our broadcast. So we may run out here, and we will certainly update you using Twitter, and we'll keep you up, keeping abreast to what's happening, going on here with 26 seconds left here. And it's just too much. Ezra Figueroa has been terrific here, but a great job going for Jamari Joyner, going to Trey White, making the catch making it a 2 minutes.
Don't worry, Miller, you're fumbling your words and I completely understand.
Take over.
Well, basically they're trying to get the ball back. They're trying to secure it. They're trying to give it distance, but at the same time, give them a run for their money. As the ball fumbles around, they pick it up. But now Cienega is rushing down the field, diving down, trying to secure their spot on the field.
We're going to run out of time here. 10 seconds, and we have to leave. We don't have the ability to continue our broadcast. So,
And this is the
sorry.
worst time
We're
to say
so
that
sorry.
because, Mr. Miller,
You're not on anymore.
you're, oh shit!
we still have on our video here, so we're gonna upload this, the video, and the play-by-play, and the commentator.
Yes.
We're gonna do all of this. 23 seconds left here. Trenton Bourget, fantastic. It's 1st and 10. Trenton, and they're running the ball here across the 30 to the 35.
And you can tell they believe in their run game. Okay, Marana has had a great run game, and to believe in that over their passing game, which is so prolific, is absolutely boggles. Boggles, is that a word?
Yes, thank you. 5 minutes on the carry. 7 seconds. 7 seconds and a half here. 2nd and 6 to go. And you just wonder what Marana is going to dial up here. Trenton Bourget, who is just fantastic here. This is one of the best games I've ever seen.
And it's funny to see how Marana's fans are lining up on that fence just to see what's going to happen. They are so tensed up, so worried, so rattled at this time. And you just got to believe in your team. And Cienega, has made a great play. And, I think Marana might be able to come back, but you never know.
Well, we've seen miracles, that's for sure. And here we go.
Putting up a
Trenton
prayer.
Bourget rolling near side, looking to
Juking.
dial it up.
Through. But he's brought down.
Down the 35-yard line, and they don't have a timeout.
Devin Garrett.
This is it.
That is the end
That's it.
of the game.
Cienega Bobcats.
50-57
to 50.
That is a win. And then for a tight game, thank you, Jesus Christ. I love you, dear Lord. I'm going to church on Sunday. Thank you so much. That is a win for Cienega. But thank you to Marana for giving such an amazing game, and competition level was high tonight and at such a beautiful stadium.
Yeah, this is not what we expected. Great game. I was glad to be here, and they came clutch at the end. Cienega came real clutch at the end.
And you know what? That's what you want from your team. Clutch plays. Clutch is what wins the game. When you are clutch, those are what defines heroes. Mr. Miller would know everything about heroes because he's an English teacher. He's a great English teacher who knows about literature and understands the meaning of stuff like this. Who would you say is the hero of this story?
There are heroes all over the field.
Yes.
And I would say that Trenton Bourget is one of those heroes. I would also say Tian Simmons is a hero tonight. And then you have Jamari Joyner, who is magnificent tonight. No guts, no glory. And we've seen Trey White on the 2-point conversion making the fade route, not once, but twice. And the biggest catch for him tonight on a handful of them was the 2-point conversion on the fade route in the corner to tie the game at 42-42.
And you almost had to believe that when Gio fumbled the ball, when there was 2 fumbles in a row, you had to believe after the second fumble that Marana had the upper hand and they could win the game. But Cienega persevered, they fought through all of it, and they won the game. That is what you want to see from our Bobcats.
This bodes very well for this team. Things are going to get easier for them, and they will improve, and they will solidify their defense.
Yes.
They will get better as a team. They have Shadow Ridge next Friday, which you guys will be calling. McVeigh Butler III and Jacob Greenberg,
Yes.
you guys were phenomenal tonight. And I'm so proud of you with all that you've done here with your commentary.
Thank you.
And next Friday, you'll be calling it Jacob play-by-play,
Yep.
McVeigh on your commentary. Next Friday night, you'll be calling it a phenomenal effort by both teams here. But back to Cienega, now they can regroup, and they'll have an easier sled next Friday night. It'll be an easier matchup for them, and the week after that will be easier. So they can kind of like regroup.
It's
They can
more
get
about
better.
they're like technicians. They got to tweak those fine little spots to make everything perfect. No team is perfect in the end,
True.
but at the same time, you want to fix errors that you had. We had a lot of errors tonight for Cienega, but they persevered, they fought through it, and you got to believe that they can do it. Kneeling down right there, probably thanking God for such an amazing game, and you know what? We as fans have to appreciate that.
The great Jamari Joyner, who I would say is the Jet, and he just was superlative tonight. He shone as he always does, and I think the most impressive aspect of his game tonight was how cool he was, with so much pressure, right, down by 5 points with 1 minute and 20 seconds, and just methodically going down the field, 10 minutes here, 15 yards there, 12 minutes here, and then the big pass to Terrell Hayward, which was like a 30-plus yard pass reception, very close to a touchdown, and then it was Jamari on the keeper, the quarterback draw for the touchdown, and then why not? Why not go for 2 and hitting Trey White, who not only once, but twice here on the 2-point conversion on the reception.
And you almost got to believe that the 2-point conversion solidified them as the W, because it gave them the confidence to be like, you know what, it doesn't matter, even if they score, we can still stop them. And you know what, that's the kind of confidence that you need in the end, and they were clutch today. And I got to give all the credit to the coaching staff, the players, the fans, everybody who came out, including us. We're a great group of people, and you know what? Supporting our school is important.
I agree. And Tanner, could you get a shot of these guys for just a quick second here, so we can kind of like sign off here, and then we'll sign off. Jacob, I don't know if you have anything else to add here as we end our broadcast, but this was a remarkable game here, and you hate to say that there's a victor, and you hate to say that there's a loser, because both teams here, they played their hearts out, and they gave everything that they had in as even as a match that you could ever hope to have here. So it was guts on behalf of the Marana Tigers, and it was certainly guts on the Cienega Bobcats. And you just hate to say that somebody had to lose, because both teams deserved to win here tonight. So I'm going to say goodnight and get a shot of these guys. They'll be calling the action next Friday night.
Next Friday night, me and Jacob will be calling the game. Hope to see you then. We'll make sure that we get the coverage on that game. And this is Bobcat signing out. I'm McVeigh Butler III.
Jacob Greenberg. Tune in next week.